that right now, but you will soon, for soon you'll be heading on the road to do a little job for a nice little old lady called Rin. She's not that old, but how can you tell with people with infernal blood? They tend to look pretty all the way into their 90s, and then they turn to those shriveled hags. Just like that.
So the Asian aging system.
You're young until you're old, and it happens just like
Yes,
that.
exactly. They look young until about 50, and then they turn into a grandma that is like 4 foot tall.
Okay,
Overnight, just no exceptions.
I don't know what this trait is, but there's a trait apparently that exists called discount, which applies to where you currently are. You are at the Crow's Cask, the well, popular tavern and brewery of the town, where people of repute tend to hang out in like the other nearby, less reputable location. You are here because before you went, Rin apparently ran her mouth enough that a local lady decided that you shouldn't let adventurers on their first big old trip get too caught up in all the big things that happen around town. I can't find out what is discount and why does it exist as a trait.
So we're in the tavern. Have we met already, or are we meeting for the first time now?
That's oh, there we go. Discount. This location provides a 10% discount. Ooh, nice.
It
I don't
might
know.
be
What do you
entirely
want to
player
do?
driven.
I imagine that you've probably already met at this point. Otherwise, you wouldn't be all in the same room together, about to head up on an expedition, right?
But,
All
I
right.
mean, okay.
You've probably all shaken hands, shown interest. You all know Rin. That's the unifying aspect. So odds is
All right.
she found some people who all looked like they had a bit of competence, and decided to glue you together so that you could do a little job for her. Which is look at the gauntlet. It's acting weird. It's making her a little spooked. Shouldn't be too dangerous. Things on the surface usually aren't that harmful. You might run into a skeleton or two, but this is fine.
I mean, there's a skeleton inside of you right now.
I mean, yes,
Not the skeleton.
the skeleton, yes. As she ran her mouth, one of the local the local priestess to be specific. What's her name? Vandy. You might know her if you're local enough, or you visit the church very often. She, of course, insists that someone come and help you out, and it is only now that she, over the course of a slight drink, lets slip that the person that she's asking to just make sure that you're all right. It's dangerous on your first trip. That's where most people get themselves completely trashed and then they come back as corpses, or worse, or worse. First time adventuring is always the risky one. It's always the risky one. Got the
Either
least
they
hit
come back
points.
as corpses, or the corpses come back on their own.
See, that's the worst part of the equation, Mr. Como. That's the worst part I was talking about. As you're sitting around with Rin, if you want to, you can go over some of the later details, or we can just skip to the part where Lady Vandy shows up with who she thinks is a qualified guidance counselor on your first quest.
I go with a second. Let's expedite this a little bit. Let's hand wave a little bit of the story and connection, unless everybody else wants to mingle.
In that case, the indoor gets firmly kicked in. Although it sounds like someone who would be big and tall and dangerous looking, it turns out to be this few feet tall plant man who has an orange peel for a hat, followed by the halfling who is distinctly taller. She tramples on over to your table and goes, How do you doing? How do you doing? I got them. This is Winnie. They claim to be an accomplished adventurer at some point, so they can just watch your backs. Say hi to everyone, Winnie. I need to get this one right out of the gate. Winnie walks on over, jumps up on a little seat, is still too short to really look over the table that well,
Ah,
but is surprised to see someone smaller than themselves hovering around the place.
sharply
right.
dressed too.
All right,
I'm
motherfuckers.
sitting.
I'll be the guy babysitting your what's it called? Neophyte tushes.
Oh, that's excellent. It's exactly what I'm looking for the first time out. It's a goddamn leash babysitter.
Whoa. You mean you never heard of me? I tell you, I got plenty of trips under my belt. I've been places. I've shaken hands with big boys, bigger than you, bigger than that guy. And he points at Argus.
I'm gonna roll.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll
have a belt?
underworld lore, because he said he was a criminal.
No,
20. I've heard of him. Have I heard of him?
what you would have heard is that they recently were arrested for apparently acting indecent around the place. You know, a lot of swearing, a lot of name calling, a lot of yelling.
So I heard that the biggest crime you ever pulled in this town was running your mouth.
I'm not a
Watch
criminal,
get
you
tossed out.
ponce.
Get him.
I fight big things and I throw them over the ledge with a
And
mighty heave.
And get thrown out of taverns. Sounds like you got thrown out on your ass.
Well, it's really easy to get tossed out when you weigh less than a piece of plate mail.
You know, I don't seem to have that problem myself.
Ugh. Well, good to know that you're going to be dying on your first day at work. Makes it easy for me. And Vandy's expression immediately turns like, oh no.
Oh, bad.
That's not what I... No. Well, I think you all will get along just nicely, won't you? Now, as Rin says, you should be perfectly fine. The godlight is a bit haunted, but it shouldn't be anything that ends up killing you. Just, you know, don't bring any animals. They go a little nutty around the place.
Okay. What kind of nutty?
Oh, well, you know, animals tend to pick up on hauntings. They tend to smell them or feed them in the bones. Get the quivers. They get bitey and snappy and terrified.
Well, since you know what we're walking into, no need for a miner's canary.
I mean, a miner's... Well, yeah, you know it's haunted. You don't need an animal to confirm that for you.
Yeah. So thanks for the tip. No, this is a very sincere thanks for the tip.
Ooh, and don't forget to bring some, you know, watertight boots. You are going into a marshy place.
Ooh.
I don't know exactly how dry the gauntlet is, or how much of it's really left. I don't know if you can see the tower from all the way from here, but you know, it's an old ruin. Might have gotten flooded since then. Take one step and sink away.
Where could we get them boots?
I presume that you've already purchased them since, you know, you've had some time to prepare for this.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't find a pair that fit. It's
Oh,
a shame.
I'm pretty sure that something as light and tiny as you won't be too affected by the moist soil. After all, rats and mice can walk along it just fine.
I ain't too worried about sinking in the ground.
Rin returns to her attention and politely requests that endure the little plant guy for now. Vandy happens. They owe some favor, so it's like, okay, fine. I'll give the little plant boy some community service. After all, he can't make it worse, can he? If he's not a real criminal, he probably won't stab you in the back, and if he does, well, you know how it goes. That's how you become a villain.
Is he getting the cut of the
So we
loot?
get damage
Is that
from-
how this is working?
Why would I want any of your little baby loot?
Alright.
I'm just here to babysit you. I got the mentoring role. I sit around and I do nothing but yell at you the things you should be doing. Simple as that.
Sounds utterly delightful.
I think you'll find
I
my
like this
advice
guy
very,
already.
very enlightening and unrequested. All right, which one of you bozos is gonna be carrying me? Because I'm not walking all that way.
I'll do it.
I really wouldn't recommend that you overburden yourself.
Would that even work? How much bulk can Staccato? Is that correct?
As a tiny size, he already has like half,
Mr.
so it's
Mr. Staccato.
Mr. Staccato. How much bulk can Mr. Staccato carry?
That was by way of being facetious. I assumed the gigantic lizard was going to be playing mount for our leafy friend here.
Oh, it's an epic level mount. All right, I'll do it.
you soon find yourself beheaded. He is indeed like Jesus. This thing is light, a fraction of your weight.
No, I assume the leshies are just made out of plant matter and stuff.
Yeah, and it's a vine leshy, so it's not doesn't even have any bark or wooden components that would make particularly heavy. So
Uh-huh.
it's just like wearing a wreath of flowers. if anything.
I
Except
always
he
wanted to
moves.
feel how Reef feels like.
Well, unless you bozos got anything else to do, how about we get going? The faster you guys just solve this woman's little paranoia problem, the faster I can go back to doing what I want to do.
It's
Getting
not
kicked out.
paranoia if the ghosts are really out to get you.
If you want to see some ghosts, there's a nice burnt out inn over there.
Mm.
Well, let's go sightseeing.
Marvelous.
I assume we all know the general direction, and
Oh yeah,
unless you can
it's
guide
it's
us.
it's not
Okay.
too hard to find your way over to the Godlight. There's not many roads around Otari to begin with. You get the basic
Alrighty
instructions
then.
of leave town, go up the cliff, head over to the stone circle, and then just take a right and go into the woods. You'll be there in a breeze.
Sounds simple enough.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Ah,
What's
they
this
look
here?
adorable.
Your trip
There
to...
used to be a way to set up a token to be like mounted like a horse or something of the sort.
Not familiar with it myself, actually.
Mm.
Here we go. The sound of frogs and mosquitoes mixes with water sloshing against muddy shores, all muffled by the ever-present mist that linger in the aptly named fogfin. As the mists clear, a shadow looms from the cloying swamp vapors. A sprawling ruin of stone and wood squats atop an island in the soggy marsh. The upper floors have largely collapsed, leaving only the stone walls and ground of the ground floor intact. Above these ruins is an out-of-place monument, a colossal lighthouse whose painted walls and iron-cast crown have resisted the corrosive effects of the surrounding swamp. As you
Resisted, so it was purpose built.
No, it's more like it clearly belongs to the rest of the structure, but it has not experienced any sort of aging
Ah,
Frickin'
magical
cool.
materials, perhaps.
or an enchantment.
Can,
It's also possible.
is
As
there
mentioned,
a way to like examine that with our great wealth of lore?
what do you mean examine it?
So to see what kind of enchantments, if any,
You'll
there
have to be
are.
a bit closer. It's
on it.
it's kind of difficult to
Okay.
tell. I mean, some magical things, if you're standing near a hole that goes straight into the deepest depths of hell, you could probably tell what it is from like a mile away. But
Yeah. Okay.
Could you also unpause the game? So it could move around. There we go.
as mentioned, unless you stay on like the predefined path, your feet almost instantly begin to sink into the ground. It's not quite difficult to aim, but get too close to a water feature and you'll just start slogging your way through.
Mm.
I'm gonna kind of flit. I'm a flitter.
Mm-hmm.
Ahead of you, as you arrive at the destination, is the gatehouse that leads up to the proper keep itself.
Is the gateway made out of the same material as the tower?
The gatehouse and everything that isn't the tower itself has experienced aging, yes.
Gotcha.
Do I see any openings or possible methods of egress other than the front door?
There's the front door, and there are arrow slits. Argus, you opened the door without... Do I need to pause the game for you to understand that you can't just go rummaging around the place without at least telling me that you are?
Oh, apologies then.
I'm gonna flit up to an arrow slit if I can reach it.
In that case, you will see the interior. Swaths of mildew and mold cover the damp surfaces of this watchtower, which has no ceiling. The ceiling has completely collapsed for the most part, appearing as green and black smears in the dull stone walls. The air is horrifying. The door frames to the walls, the door frames in the walls to the north and south have rotted long ago, and a few collapsed chairs lie on the floor amid small heaps of foul-smelling grey lumps. Ooh. Thick sheets of cobweb hang from above, obscuring the view of the non-existent ceiling. So it just obscures the view of the sky, because that's the default ceiling.
How are the
How big is the
cobwebs in
cobweb?
a ceiling that is not there?
Well, they're kind of hanging from the walls for the most part.
And how big are the cobwebs?
I don't know why you'd have any idea what they're like. You're not even looking inside. But for Mr. Staccato, they cover the entire thing. They're basically like an improv ceiling, although you can't imagine it stops any rain or wind.
Are there any actual spiders?
I mean, you'll hear giggling coming from inside.
No, but are there any, like, can I easily see any spiders in the cobwebs?
There are no spiders that you can see right away.
I'm gonna look carefully.
So what's everyone else doing? As Mr. Staccato does a little scouting.
I would like to investigate the stonework, which I already did, and
Sold.
then either peek through the door, because there's unfortunately no way to slightly open the door. There's only
The door-
on and off.
The age and rust on the hinges becomes apparent because the second you push against it, you feel that resistance of like, if I push any more, it's gonna start creaking loudly.
Oh, gotcha.
So if you want to, you can totally just bump it open.
I should have brought some oil for hinges,
Yeah.
Oh, come
but
on.
I did not.
Wait, I have soap.
Yes.
Wait, I have soap. Soap is also.
The hinges are in
Yeah,
the
soap.
inside because this is a defensive structure, and exposed hinges are not very
Yeah.
defensive.
I have thieves' tools. Would that include oil for hinges? That seems like a
With
standard.
thieves' tools, you could probably take care of the door and open it without too much hassle. Yes.
All right, cool.
Without
so
noise, I
I'm gonna
mean.
get in. I'm gonna get in through the arrow slit and then come around and oil the hinges unless someone or something objects to my doing so and attacks me or something.
Well,
Got your back.
let me drag you right in. You're on the inside now. It's quite a lovely little gatehouse. Just lovely. The smell is not great. The cobwebs at least keep the smell in. With a little bit of effort, you manage to get the door to open up without any noise. Although, to be fair, since you flew on the inside, I don't see why you would be concerned about the sound.
Well, because they can't fly in. I'm not taking maps this place on my own.
That is a good point.
Just like leave them outside and fight all the skeletons by myself.
Don't leave your friends
That's a
outside.
good plan. No. I'm not going to split the party before we even enter the...
Argus, you can open the door
Alright.
if you want to and get that smell.
Gross.
Also, just for context, technically you can get wings by going through certain feats. You don't by default have flight.
I think
I don't even have flight if I have the wings. All
Yep.
I can do is sort of kind of be hovery. Like I can basically function as
Yep.
a medium-sized person.
The ground here, Argus, is that that expected kind of mushy stone mixed with dirt. There are the foul-smelling lumps. Is there anything you hope to gain by examining the room a bit closer, or is there anything you want to do in this room in general? Actually, now that there's enough people in the room, I just noticed that Hakad has also entered the room. You will hear voices from above.
Oh shit.
is somebody in the spider webs.
That is where the sound seems to be coming from, but you start to notice that the spiderweb is more than just like a thin hanging. There are distinct areas where you can't see the sky properly. Like
Oh.
proper.
So it has clumped together.
Yeah, so in places you would actually have like cover from below. And hey, if you really want to, maybe you could like lounge in it, like relax. Hey, point is, hear a voice. Welcome, noble heroes, to our beautiful pixie parlor. There are mean bugs in that horrible fortress nearby. You will do best to partake in our magic pixie mud and use its enchantments for your journey.
That sounds suspect.
Can I roll? Being a pixie myself, like, I should have some background on this. Pixie mud, is that a thing, or is that like some practical joke they play on people?
If you wanted
Snake
to
oil.
know that, you should have taken pixie.
The
funny
I am a pixie.
The fun-
Oh, I'm a sprite.
I know that you're
Pixies
yelling.
is-
I know that you're yelling about this about me, but I'm gonna turn to the camera as it were, and I'm gonna say there are lots of other ancestries where you have to take a specific ancestry feat to get your own racial lore, and I don't know why they did it like that. Why don't you just get a default for your character? Oh, but because of cultures, and I'm like, no, that's cheating. Anyway, you probably would understand like some things of pixie lore, so just roll your underworld lore. All lores are the same anyway.
What about nature?
Well, nature would also help, yes. That falls in the same kind of field.
28.
I mean,
First
there is
roll
Holy
of the
crap.
year. 24 times.
there is magic pixie mud, but it doesn't smell like this, and it's not rock solid.
Someone's trying a prank.
In Sylvan, I'm gonna say, I am a representative of Queen Mab herself, come to do some of her dirty work. If you got a game y'all fuckers are playing, play it on some other noobs. I'm gonna roll intimidate.
Oh gosh, you start to hear like at first there's these chuckles coming from above, and that will overcome their will DC. So this thing's like, no!
The sudden realization has creeped in.
Okay, well, this is the part where their presence becomes more than abundantly apparent because, oh wait, whoops, don't wanna.
Mhm.
Oh, apparently loot tokens cannot automatically be included in combat. Thank you. That's a massive improvement over last time. Thank you. Um, as they start
It's the
shaking
plot
from the
sticker.
laughter, and then oh no, you start to see these humanoid figures who are hiding up in the webs up above. And they start. Winnie,
Those
you're not
are
involved with
wide
this.
enough,
Winnie,
too.
you're not interested in fighting. Can we please?
Does
Oh
that
wait.
count as demoralizing?
Yes, they are all essentially demoralized when this combat starts. Please roll me your initiative. You can set it to intimidate if you prefer that over your or you can actually use your intimidation roll. I'll say if you want to.
Yeah, I do.
It's actually quite amusing how PF2e, at least, from what I
I
know,
like how you can do
allows.
initiative with any random skill. Yeah.
Well, these guys were all like being little sassy boys. So can I? How would I? That's a great
So I
question.
have
I don't know.
panache on my very first
Is there a
action.
button I
It's
can
pretty
push for that?
cool.
Nope. Nope.
Oh.
So while they're demoralized, they get -1 to everything.
Yeah. They get frightened when I know it's on their first turn. They're basically like, oh no. They scamper and scuttle. Enger, you're first to respond to the
Hello.
situation and circumstances. Hope you brought a ranged weapon.
Huh?
Hope you brought a
What
ranged
was that?
weapon because they're up in the ceiling.
Don't you worry, I sure did. I do have my trusty longbow and ambition. And ambition. I would like
Is
to take a pot shot at this blue boy.
Oh.
Oh, good lord. Uh,
Missed by 3. You have 1 action left.
well,
1 to take out your bow, 1 to fire.
mm, I think I shall attempt this again. Because usually in these games, I do better on the second try.
Hey, I mean,
Oh,
you missed by 3, so your odds are great.
yeah. So is this the one of them where you take
This is.
the
Oh,
lesser number?
no, you just take the MAP -5. That's the button you click.
-5. I have +8, +3, and -2. Okay, math.
No, on your sheet. I guess on the. Oh, god dang it! On the quick select, yes.
Is that it?
Yeah, on the quick select, it
Okay.
actually shows you the number straight away. Cool.
Hell yeah.
Unfortunately, your arrows get all tangled up in all that webbing. It's a little hard to shoot something that's surrounded by sticky.
Ah, sorry guys.
I hope I didn't click. Okay. Oh no, it's because it swaps back. Thank you. The
Mhm.
boy appears like,
Dwarven
oh,
curse word.
ow. He scoots and scoots around, reaches into his back pocket and pulls out a little dart that he has. Argus, you look big. You look scary. Actually, so does Mr. Staccato. And Mrs.
although
Staccato
they
is the one
look
who's yelling.
small.
Mrs. Staccato, a little itty bitty dart flies your way. Whoosh.
Get down, Mr. President.
That's a negatory.
I figured as much. His spookiness goes down a little bit, and he starts yelling a variety of exciting swears at you.
In what language?
Let's say that they say it in Sylvan. You know, that nice Fey language. This guy is reaches into his pockets, drops his dart for a moment, and then goes for one shot. At you know what, Argus, you're right below him. He just has to drop it on your head.
Gosh.
So, out of nowhere, you suddenly. Oh no! You hear that cartoon clonk as a dart
Oh boy.
falls right on your head.
God. What was that? A lawn dart?
Argus, if you use the damage thing that's over here, it will automatically subtract from your stamina first, and then your hit points.
I see.
That's a wink, nudge,
Apply
nudge.
full damage to selected tokens. Is that the one that I should?
I've already taken care of it. Don't worry. You have to select your token. Yes.
Gotcha.
Jiharu,
Alright.
the boys up there are having a laugh as this Argus. You were not wearing armor, right? So it's just like a direct to the head thing.
Yes.
They're having
it
a
was
giggle
very
over
loud
this.
clonk.
Their morale
Sure, we
improves
got
now
it.
that they've given you the clonking.
Well, if they're up there, I can't get to them, so I'm just going to. Where's the spells? There. I'm just going to cast Shield on myself.
Handsome. You
Hey, that
manifest
actually works.
a resistive shield for your defenses. Oh heck, it actually applies it? Terrifying. I'm spooked. I'm spooked.
Good task.
Argus, what do you want to do?
Every week there's something. Every week there's something new in Foundry. Oh gosh, what wouldn't I do? First and foremost, I'm going to pull out a bow, and I'm going to respond in kind with flurry of blows. Oh wait, no, I wouldn't be able to. Hold on. Quick question, by the way. Do you actually need to spend an action to take it out? Because I assume our buddy Inger didn't have to.
Inger did have to spend the
Will we
action to
have
take out
our
their bow.
weapons at the ready?
Well, no,
Is
you
what I'm
weren't necessarily expecting to fight things that were up in the rafters.
Okay, fair enough. In that case, one action to pull out the bow, one action to enter the bow stance, and then one extra action to actually use the flurry of blows to attack twice.
Aim at whoever you
Gonna-
want and give him heck. That's not the guy who
I'm gonna
dropped the dart in your
target
head,
the
but
one.
hey.
Yes. Retribution. Give me a second.
This one is the one who dropped the dart on your head, by the way.
Which one? Oh,
Directly
gotcha.
south of you.
The
Switching.
littler ship, if you will.
That's why you could drop it on your head, because it was so
So-
close to you.
Correct. Here's one.
Ow!
That's the damage for it.
Ow!
Is it adding stuff properly? It should be adding +1. No, excuse me, +2 actually to dex. Excuse me, +3.
Yeah, it's on there. If you look, it says Dex +3, Untrained +0.
Weird.
I don't know why you're untrained in longbow. I guess monks don't get it.
I should be. That's why. Thanks for pointing it out. I'm gonna have to create a specific thing. Well, for now, just add the +3 to that because supposedly monk weapons are trained. Here's the second attack. With
Wait,
penalty.
why do you add
That's
+3
a
to the
miss.
weapon?
Because it's a monk thing. It's a stance that allows me to actually properly be trained, quote unquote, in a longbow. But I have to be in a stance.
Oh, the attack roll doesn't have you as trained.
Yes.
Gotcha. In that case, still doesn't count as a crit, but you still hit him. On the other one, untrained, okay, +3, still misses by 1.
Fair enough.
If only he was still spooked.
Correct.
Scotto, they're a little bit out of reach up there, and they're also starting to skitter and scuttle all over the place.
I'm gonna check out the proficiencies.
How high up are they?
They're like 20-ish feet off the
Well-
ground. They're quite a distance up there.
Yeah, that's a ways. Alrighty. I am going to let's see here. I'm going to recall knowledge to see what it is that these certain types of guys would be afraid of.
Go nuts. Give me some nature. I mean,
10, but maybe it's because I am a Brian. I go, it's up to you.
what you will
What can I think of?
what you will know is that these bunch of goobers have one thing going. Like they clearly are very easily frightened by anyone who actually tries to fight them. They're not. They don't look like they're combatants. They're just kind of troublemakers, you know.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to make a ghost sound
Ooh.
above them, probably right above where Inger is. That sounds like the baying of like a flying something scary. I don't know. Like a I don't know, like a just like kind of a roaring sound coming after
Cool.
us,
Cool.
coming to join the fight.
Can
So
you
can I roll to
intimidate?
as
Yes.
part of that?
Intimidate. Yes.
Cool.
To see if this guy can
Alright.
keep his balance now that he's suddenly spooked by a sound.
All right, and I get +1 because I have panache. 26.
This tiny man falls out. He is no, he's small actually, not tiny. Argus, the guy who dropped the dart on your head, he decided to follow his dart on the way down because as he is terrified of the sound, he what loses his balance, falls through the webbing, and well, since he falls 20 feet, he takes 10 damage on the way down. And that, well, dead, unconscious, he's out of the fight. Let's put it like that.
Who's
And
next?
then, with my last action, I draw my rapier one hand and scorpion whip in the other one.
Recalling knowledge is an
And
action.
oh, you're right. All right, well then, that's what I.
If you were an investigator, you could do all the recall.
Yeah, it would be. Okay, that's my turn.
Since someone has now perished, let's see exactly how this spell works. I think it's the same as No. Oh yeah, it's the same as that. But that looks annoying. This boy is scared. He's terrified. Oh no! You're causing all this trouble. He yells at the other one something in undercommon. It sounds something like we gotta scream. We gotta scream. He clambers through the webbing, familiar with it, out the window to the pool outside.
Cool.
Anger. They're running.
Wise decision, my friend. A wise decision.
You might warn the others.
I'm scooting. Give me a hot second. Okay, I'm tagging this boy. Yes, tagging that boy. I think I'm gonna try again with my gorgeous bow. Doing a little dwarven grammar as I hoist it up. Oh,
That's a hit.
something. That certainly is something.
Show me that damage.
Is this what happens?
Ah! He does
What
a little.
the heck?
He does a little spin as he has to correct himself, but he's still standing. He's still standing.
Ding dang tried.
You still have one action left, so you can try again with a shot in the dark.
Don't worry if I do. Just like squinting, doing the thing. Let me do that. And do that. Ah, god dang it.
Unfortunately, all that moving makes him harder to hit.
And grandma rolled.
So this gentleman up here gives you a little raspberry on the way out. You also see him grab some sort of hunk of meat,
Oh,
and then a few moments later, you hear this sploosh outside.
oh boy.
Combat is
What's
technically
the
over,
grabbing
as
the
these guys will scurry their way out of here.
I wish to apologize on behalf of my brethren. I have not made the best first impression. I want to assure you that should you have visited one of my home parties, all of us would be dead right
It'd be like that sometimes, honey.
now. You bring shame to us all. I go over and I spit on this guy's corpse.
Well, that ought to teach him.
Does he have any stuff? Anything worth taking? Probably not.
Well, if you stand on top of him, I can't click his token to see what his inventory looks like. He has like a small-sized dart left in his pocket and a small-sized short sword, but other than that, he doesn't look like he has too much going for him. Just your local resident loser.
All right. Anyone want to be responsible for carrying loot? My hauling abilities are pad limited.
Sure
I'll
thing.
pick up the slack.
Hey, quick question. I can see little dots flying around everywhere that I assume are maybe people ice or something like
That's
that.
mouse
Alright.
locations, yes.
Yeah, how do I
These
turn that
cursors.
off? It's really annoying.
Press C, it will disable yours, but not others. Or I
So I
believe
can just-
Alt plus C.
Alt
It will
C,
show a
okay.
little hand crossed out like that.
Oh, I see. So
But yeah, there.
Mine is just opening the character sheet.
Yeah, it does that
yes,
too.
but it's also at the same time because it's on the same button. That's what I do usually at the start of every game. Open
Yeah,
the
'cause
sheet and
it's-
disable my cursor.
I'll turn
really
mine
annoying.
off.
Why would I need to know what other people's cursors are doing?
To know that they're alive, even if they're not talking.
Yeah,
Oh, there is actually a checkbox, hide by default.
Ooh, coolio. Good.
Fantastic. Let me untarget this idiot. There you go.
Good.
All right.
Otherwise,
How's Winnie doing outside? Having a giggle, I assume.
I mean, Winnie thought it was hilarious when he got hit in the head with a dart, like the blunt end of it somehow.
Yes, well, you see, if I was wearing you as a wreath, I wouldn't have that problem.
Well, then a reason to buy yourself a helmet.
Hmm? What's up? Yeah. Are we short? How many do we have?
Are you
Okay, we'll sit over.
Anyway, not to pee on your parade, but you should always make sure that there's no treasure left behind. I mean, you're technically not even here to find any loot, but it never hurts to make sure that you walked away with everything valuable.
It's called
Mm.
pocket money.
Marketing guide,
Pocket
40.
money. Half the party's pocket people.
Also means you can pay for
so
my drinks
there's a
when
difference
you
there
appreciate my
because
advice.
every FO gets a marketing guide. All right. And so I had all the marketing guides for the FOs going to.
Mr. Staccato has gotten on the phone.
I'm using him for a moment. I think he can turn that one off himself, actually. So
I know, yeah. Well, they forgot. It's fine.
yeah, when he's like, hey, never hurts to take a quick look around the room just in case there's a trap you missed and you all get squashed by the walls when you go out through that door to the north. You just saying.
Okay. I'm gonna pick him up, put him back on my shoulder, I suppose.
Yoink.
If we die together.
Oh, I'm tougher than you are, big boy. Pat pat.
Grumble.
I wish I could pin characters together. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Anyway, this moldy ass room has doors to the north.
You reckon?
What's up?
Hmm?
What are you laughing at?
Mr. Staccato, by the by.
Oh,
You forgot to mute your mic. We heard your work conversation. We probably should have.
I apologize about that.
Oh, so my mute was only for me. Okay, great. I'll need to be more careful what I'm doing here.
Sorry for that. I'll try to mute myself.
Nah, don't worry about it. Anyways,
Alright,
there's some
fair
doors to the
enough.
north. And there's the room itself with all those beautiful, moldy, broken chairs. If you want some of those, they're great chairs. You can sit on them,
I mean,
and they fall apart.
just
They did warn us to take a look around,
adventurers.
so I'd like to take a look
Yeah,
around.
we should.
See if these dumbasses have hidden anything inside the room before we progress forward.
Dealer chair.
You do find some treasure by taking a quick look around.
Oh,
Between at first, you probably only casually glanced at the pile of poop because it smelled like shit and it looked like shit. But now that you're giving it a more discerning eye, I forgot. Oh, there it is, the peridot bead. You have a universal inventory, and in that is now a little gem, a little pretty bead.
Fantastic.
who ate and pooped out a gem?
It isn't covered in poop. It probably was just put there.
Ah, okay.
Buddy of mine, he used to talk about his prison pocket. That's probably where they were keeping it.
Shiny.
You also hear the loud sounds of like a frog-like creature outside. Like it. No, that's not a frog. Excuse me.
Oh.
Can I take a peek through this window? If it's
Definitely.
on this side.
I usually have a vision
Yeah.
helper for this, but I'll just drag a little party token over.
That's amusing. Oh my god.
Peeking through the
Look at
window, you
those
see-
eyebrows.
You see two things.
Oh,
First, you see a vine that has been attached to this wall that leads all the way over to up north. to this
When
little-
you say this wall. Gotcha.
Additionally, there's this big, extremely sliming-looking frog with massive eyebrows and huge fangs sitting in the pond. Allow me to describe Le Pond for Le U. Whoops, that's not one I went to close because that's my map with the numbers on it. I need that to know what key to read. Here we go. Tangles of reeds grow in thick clusters around the edge of this muddy pond. The water appears to be murky with algae, and the half-decayed body of a 3-foot-tall scaly humanoid lies on the northern bank, half buried in mud and leaves. Additionally, the vine that goes northeast toward that little area seems to hook up to a large skeleton of sorts. It's not connected to the skeleton, but it goes really close to it. That might have been where they ran off to.
I relayed this to the gang. Like, so we have a frog, and we have a corpse, and we have some vines. But if we exit, like on the north side, we may be able to get to the same place.
Let's take a
Because it is
peek.
open door. Yeah.
Would Mr. Staccato bother with oiling the hinges?
All right, so wait, are we gonna go through the door or are we gonna climb out this?
I mean,
spot?
you could just push the door
True.
open. Rusty doors are not, like, alarm loud.
I did
Makes
just
sense.
make the jump, the sound of people screaming, and so to terrify. them.
Subtlety has already been lost.
Yeah.
Well, Fair
Argus.
enough. Yes.
A wooden drawbridge, its timbers grey with age and decay, spans a 20-foot gap between the outbuilding and the sprawling ruin on the island. Rusty chains hang from the northern wall and connect to the drawbridge's south side. Look ready to fall apart,
Hmm.
though, Ugh, giving the structural integrity of the drawbridge a little extra dubiousness. Just a scooch.
Well, here is the lightest aside from,
What?
well, a pixie and a leshy.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, a little bit of water didn't hurt anyone. So I'd like to carefully step over to the door.
Since you're doing this carefully,
Well, while keeping an eye on the frog.
and you are not a small creature, can you roll me a reflex save?
Absolutely.
Almost the instant you put a foot down on this thing, you can tell that it's falling apart. If you have any knowledge of crafting or the like, you would be able to tell that this is not like its age collapse. It's more like someone cut some part of it to make it extra weak, and now it's collapsing as a result of that. Okay, cool. Now there's new text. Don't worry about the new text. That's irrelevant. That's because for some reason the default includes text. Point is, there's now a
You
big
can
ol'
delete it, I believe.
there's now a big ol' splorch.
Can I see the? I'm standing out here. Can I see the frog?
We should be able to, yes.
Standing and leaning outwards, you do see the frog, whose attention seems to have been grabbed by the meat, but it doesn't see anything quite yet. You're also pretty tiny, so when you look around the corner, it does, however, become drawn to the sound of the drawbridge collapsing.
I had rolled a 12 nature earlier.
Ah, yes. Let's see.
I
Unfortunately, in order to know anything about slurks, you needed a 16.
There you go.
You do recall the name, though. That one you get for free.
It's a slurk.
To be specific, the description says that it is a sticky, tusked frog beast.
Delightful.
Now that its attention has been drawn to us,
No, it's been
This
drawn
is
to the destroyed
hostile.
bridge. If you don't put any further attention on yourself,
Ah.
it probably won't even notice you.
makes sense. That's why they use the meat to distract it, probably.
Well, the meat was probably to wake it up, considering that it probably wasn't. You didn't see it before, so.
Hmm.
Let's better part of valor ourselves back inside. What do you
Thinking.
say? What do you say? Frog is attracted to bridge now, which means it's not looking. Can we get out the way that the pixies did? Climb down that vine and around?
The vine probably won't hold anything larger than a small creature too well. Especially not Argus.
Yeah,
I mean, we do have rope.
we do indeed have rope.
If you tie a rope, a normal rope could probably hold Argus.
So we can like use our
Let's do
actual
it.
kit.
How
Yeah.
steep is the bank of this little pond?
It's probably
Is
well.
it possible to just...
The problem is not so much the. I mean, the thing is like 4 feet up. I think. Here we go. Yeah, it's 4 foot deep water. The drawbridge is like
Mhm.
slightly above it. It's not a huge fall. Like you're not gonna get hurt from it. The problem is more that it's 4 foot
Gotcha.
deep water, which counts as greater difficult terrain because of all the mud that's probably under there too. So
Correct.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
It's more severe inconvenience rather
The
than
slurk
flat
probably-
out dying.
could jump or climb up here if it really wanted to, but for now it seems to not have noticed anything. It's just collapsed. Slurk.
Let's move fast while it's distracted by the drawbridge.
Gotcha.
All right.
yeah.
So I grab my rope, tie it, toss myself on down. It says
Okay,
that
cool.
I'm colliding with a wall. How do I?
Oh, that's because it's very specific about things. Don't worry about it. Oh, I see why it's actually the case. It's because there's a. Let me see if I can remove the movement restriction on this. Can you now move left and right through the wall? Hell yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
There was invisible. There was a glass in the way, probably to make sure that people don't get sneaky and crawl in there without GM permission. Yes, you can definitely tie the rope. That shouldn't be too much of a hassle. I mean, you're an adventuring type. You probably know how to tie a little knot. That's what everyone knows how to do.
I'd like to tie up a few recalcitrant interview subjects from time to time who accuse my hospitality.
Now the thing is, are you sure you want to go over there and fight that skeleton all by your lonesome? Because he looks to be standing
I
at
do
attention.
not. That is why I tied a rope so that my companions may join me.
You'll have to get really close to that thing to tie the rope to the other side, which is the how ropes work.
I tied the rope so they could get down to the marsh. I haven't really thought about doing a suspension thing across.
Oh, if you're not
So
thinking
you
about
said
doing a
there's
suspension thing, why are you even tying a rope? People can just leave through the window by squeezing at it.
Oh, good point.
It's
All
not
right, how about
particularly tall or high.
you said that there was a vine stretching across these two?
Yes, the vine
across
is like 20
wall?
feet up. It leads up to that where the webbing was.
Okay, so I can't get up there.
I mean, the webbing goes down to the ground, so you could just climb your way up through it. You get a
Yeah.
lot of web on you, though.
What do you guys think? Do you want to try to, if you want me to try to run the rope across so we could all get across that way? Or do you want to just come out onto the marsh out here? Or do you want to go deal with the frog?
I've been thinking of actually just trying to jump across and then carry the rope with me.
I mean, does that have a point?
Yes.
If our friend Staccato already has wings and a rope in his hands.
I want to make it clear that I cannot, in fact, fly.
Mr. Staccato,
They are helpful for...
you have +2 wisdom, so I'll give you some knowledge.
Okay.
You could, if you really wanted to, see if you could circle around this little building. Because that space over here has an opening on the other side, too.
Okay.
So maybe you could
Around
circle
the whole
around.
building?
Around the whole little building over to the east, yes.
You mean, okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I'm just gonna. Yeah, can
That's
we
what
just
I
walk
meant.
this? Yeah, okay. So I'm just gonna
You
circle
just mentioned
around
that
over
there's-
here. Right? Can I do that?
Yep.
Like that? Okay, cool. I do that unless someone stops me.
You're good.
Cool. All right. And then, yeah, I guess if you guys want to toss me the rope now, then am I able to fasten it on this side so people can get across easily?
I mean, they could just walk along the bank.
Yeah, I guess
Yes.
so. Yeah. I'm gonna put it
My only concern
Well-
here was that you mentioned that the land here is very swampy.
Yes, it's difficult terrain. Like, it's hard to move through this. If you went into any of the water squares, you would basically end up in greater difficult terrain, and you'd be flat-footed the whole time because it's kind of hard to defend yourself when you're sinking away in water and mud.
Gotcha. I'd like to pick inside for one of those little...
The
arrow
moment you get
slits.
close to this building, your ears will pick up on the loud proclamations of a very big and aggressive individual who declares himself to be Boss Grog, the boss of the Mudlickers.
That sounded barely intelligible. but
Additionally, you'll hear the
get it.
skittering and clacking of insectile feet on a stone floor.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh no. Bugs.
Very big ones by the sounds of it. You usually don't hear bugs like that.
Boss, we've been bugged.
Winnie politely
Excuse
comments that
me.
if you're afraid of bugs, you might as well
Fine
quit this
then.
business right now.
find that extremely offensive. Some of my best friends are bugged.
I'd like, as a joke, to pick up a little caterpillar and put it close to Winnie.
If I had teeth, I'd eat it.
That's the spirit. Holy
Alright.
shit.
Instead, the
Wanna
little
take
thing
a
you're holding,
run?
like, out of
Yes.
nowhere, a precision concussive blast just knocks it out of your hand. As if someone was using, like,
Oh.
telekinesis, you know, that basic cantrip.
Oh,
Don't play with bugs.
I thought to threaten unless she.
If
will
anyone is
counter.
watching the
Let's
slurk,
do
at this
that.
point, it seems to have settled down where it's right now. It's like, yeah, it's good here. I'll wait here. Maybe they'll come back. With all the
That's
reeds in the way, you can
kind
barely
of
see them, though.
disposition. That's the kind of disposition I kind of want in my life.
I'm gonna take a peek in through this window here.
Okay, in that case, I can give you the room description. Splintering framing in the ceiling and floor hint at that thin wooden walls once divided the stone's building interior. With those walls destroyed, there's only a single large chamber that remains. Rubble, swamp vegetation, and mud piles heap like foul nests, while larger stack of rubble, sticks, and bones looks almost, but not quite, like a throne. A flattened mound of sand and a few dozen bits of wood and stone cover the floor in front of the throne, quote unquote. Here, this is what you see peeking in.
Huh.
Bugs.
I forgot to
bugs.
decapitalize his name, but it's great. Yes, you see something that I don't. This term is not too familiar with me, but it's a giant solifugid. It's basically a
Alright.
big spider.
Ooh, fancy.
You also see those mithlets that you beat up a moment ago.
Huh. We did.
They're like, we're under attack, boss. They're coming from Otari.
Yeah, no shit.
What do you do with this
So
newly
what do you
gained
guys think?
knowledge?
So I relay what I've seen in whispers.
Should we wait for them to try and come out and then gang up on them?
We could lure them.
The problem.
Yeah, and like
Yeah,
if they go in,
we could just ignore that. There is that giant skeleton thing up there, and I don't like the idea of fighting the skeleton and these guys at the same
I can.
and the frog if it joins in.
time. Yeah.
And we can always circle back to them if they decide to be trouble.
Does this building miss the roof as well?
Let's see. Well, the roof is semi-collapsed. Like, there is some light that shines in. So yes, if you wanted, you could enter through the roof.
Hmm. Get
I
the
would
damn
like
bed.
to attempt to try and take the vantage point there.
Let's see.
I assume at the very least, while the roof itself might not be stable enough, the walls might.
Give me a moment. I'm trying to look up some specific details on how high the ceiling is in this floor, but it's being... You know what I really liked about, what's it called? I think it was the Emerald Spire. Like, every single time you went to the Emerald Spire, every single floor had like a little thing that says, by the way, this is what the floors and the walls look like.
That was great.
It
I
was
liked
great, because it meant that I didn't have to figure out where the hell it wrote how tall everything is. Let's just say that everything is like 10 to 20 feet. It's easy enough to climb up there if you
Gotcha.
want to give it a go. Oh, here we go. Where the roof hasn't caved in, the ceilings are 10 foot high unless noted otherwise.
Gotcha.
Thanks.
Let me actually see if
I'll
there was
wait
a case.
for the sound of commotion and then attack.
All right. So I'm gonna sneak in through this window and try to hide in this little. That still won't let me get through their window. I'm trying to hide in, yeah. This
Can
little.
I walk around this side to see if there's any other entrances to get in?
Cool. You can give me a DC 17 stealth check to see if you manage to stay hidden.
That's me.
Yep. You
Oh,
have
I
actually. Let's
will-
make that a DC
nice
16
work.
because they're kind of all distracted. They're not paying too much attention. Even the spiders, like a little bit at this point.
25.
They won't notice you for
Nice
now,
work.
unless you take a particularly different course of action. You'll be able to move around unseen. Because honestly, I really don't like how default stealth rules are. They're a little too rolly.
Yeah.
Will I need
All
to
right.
roll anything to climb on top?
Yes, you're going to need to roll athletics.
Gotcha.
I imagine that this is not too hard to climb. It's all rough stone. It's a bit weathered and slimy, but nothing you can't manage. You're also pretty big, so to you it's not that far
Yes.
up. You climb into the window frame, then up, and you're up there. What do you want to do when you're up here?
I would like to take stock of the situation inside, and the moment they become alerted, I will attack.
Okay, I'm going to show you this, because as I mentioned, Emerald Spire did this, and I don't know why Paizo has really good ideas as to how to organize their APs, and then just ignores them forever. Like, they think about things. Look at this. Every level has light consumption. What is the light like inside? What are the lighting conditions? Is there anything specific you need to know in terms of debris or doors? And then it's like, oh, this is what the ceilings are like. Now, come on, man. You figured it out. You might as well do it again.
Different writers.
Listen, if I and a friend are writing something and one of us learns something good, you share that. Knowledge is best when shared. Point is, Argus, you're up there. You can take a look inside and you can get the same visual information that he has. With the added detail, of course, that you're seeing this from above.
Yes. Let me put a little, like, plus 15 or whatever it was.
Plus 10. Here, I'll take care
Plus
of
10.
it.
There you go. Please do. Thank you.
The hole in the ceiling is like slightly in front, like around here-ish.
Got it. I'd like to approach the nearest hole that, well, seems to be appropriate for targeting.
Have you synced your watches
Yes.
with the rest of the party?
Yes.
What does the rest of the party do when this happens? You see Argus climb up. What do you do in response to that?
I'm definitely gonna wait until everyone else is in position.
Yeah.
'Cause
I'm
I
gonna
think
also. Huh? Sorry?
I was just wondering what you're doing. Are you coming in?
Yeah, I was gonna come in because I am a close range fighter fundamentally. So I'm
Um,
also gonna like do.
if you're not confident in your sneaking skills, I can say that you can ready yourself so that you don't have to roll anything. You can just immediately stride through the window when anything breaks out. You know, you're like kind of braced up against it, ready to go.
Okay, sure. I'm okay with that.
Well, you're ready to charge in.
Yep.
Well, here I'll put
Or
you
we
right
can do the
inside.
same then.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Hey. Okay.
Argus Winnie's with
Because,
you.
like, well, I could
Yes.
climb. What is the point?
They're
Did you repeat that?
Hmm?
What did you say?
I said, could
No, Ray.
Inger repeat what they said?
Yeah, Inger.
Oh, no, I was just like rambling about how like it would not really have much of a point for my character to climb, so we good.
Does
Gotcha.
anyone here have what's it called? Society?
It's just a Katamite.
Like the notion
No.
of class.
I'm a street urchin.
No,
What?
no.
You don't even have society. What kind of street
That's
urchin are you?
weird.
Despite
I
my
have one.
urbane personality, I am not accepted in some of the better homes.
It really does feel like Argus is missing a skill. Oh no, it's because of lore. Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
Yes.
I always forget that one of the things you get from your background is lore. Well, since nobody apparently has society,
I mean, I have one. It's +1.
I'm trained in
I
society.
have,
then
I
you would
have
be able to immediately
diplomacy.
recognize when you peek inside that the map that's in front of the boss is a map of Otari. It's got that crude layout.
Oh,
Actually, Inger would also know this because I guess Rosengard lore is adjacent enough, you know.
I have
Makes
Warren
sense.
and
So yes, you can recognize that he seems to be planning something around the town of Otari.
well, that's shady. That's
So,
shady.
Argus, when you make your
Right.
entrance, when things go down, whoever is making the first move, are you making it aggressively? Are you like roaring your way in, or are you like open to conversation but you're just entering the room weird? Weird.
I will allow Mr. Staccato to try negotiations, but I'll not hesitate to slap a bitch.
If the bitch requires it.
We don't take back talk from goblinoids in this household.
Yeah, I personally don't see any particular value here in negotiation. They're clearly planning an assault on the place we temporarily are hanging our hats. And of course, we just killed one of their members and they are warned that we are coming. So I suggest rather than any sort of conversation, proceed directly to the part where they die and we live.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
Well, in that case, the moment they start moving, the moment they start showing aggression, that they've noticed one of our party members, I'm going to attack through the hole in the roof.
Cool. That'll probably be whenever someone else makes the first move, which probably will be Mr. Staccato.
Correct.
Yeah, I think so. All right, what's this guy's deal over here? The guy that I can see?
This blue guy,
Yeah.
he doesn't look like the rest of them. First and foremost, because he's wearing a crown of some sorts. Is there anything here that just looks anything too interesting in terms of description? No. He's wearing like this makeshift little crown. He's got a trident, whereas the others don't seem to have. They have like little swords. He has a full trident. He also seems to be a bit bigger than the rest. Not like size category bigger, but like bigger in raw size. Also, he speaks with a big old voice. I'm the boss around here.
He's got big jowls. I'll give him that.
Has the confidence of a boss.
Indeed.
Still smaller than mine, though.
Well, let's
Alright.
meet their jeopardy.
Well, Winnie, you're not involved in this. Get out of here.
Winnie's supposed to like protect and help us, and they're just chilling.
Hey, listen. The mentor role means that you do all the hard work, and they just yell at you when you're doing it wrong. How will you
Have you
learn
ever
if you
seen-
don't do something?
Through
Have you ever heard
Skype.
of Mr. Miyagi?
Ah, I remember that name. It's been
All
84
right.
years.
All
All
right.
right. So I'm gonna get just enough in this guy's line of view that he
Mhm.
can actually see me, but not
Oh,
anyone else. Right. I'm gonna pop
yeah.
my head up. Right. And
I
as he's
believe
like
two
turning
players.
and flustering, I'm just gonna give him the most like intense, stern, silent, stone-faced
Oh
look.
God.
Makes it absolutely clear that his days are numbered.
Oh.
23.
Yeah,
Holy
that
crap!
that that'll give him some good spooks. But that also means that he's aware of your presence and is like, oh no,
Right.
oh no 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 no.
Well, that's only my
Uh,
first. That's my first action. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll say that everyone has their weapons drawn and ready to go, and then the actual initiative start because then he says like, go get him. So you
Well,
can
I was
get.
gonna
You know what?
shoot.
Sure, go ahead. You can stare at him while you shoot him.
Sounds good. I will do so.
two people haven't rolled for initiative yet, by the way.
Yes,
Or
please
is it
take
just
care
me?
of that. It's important.
That's my
Inger and
initiative.
Staccato.
23.
There is a combat tab, by the way, where you can click a big old die that's next to your number when you don't have initiative set that you can use to roll initiative. It's great.
Anyway, 19 to hit him.
He's gonna feel that one.
Cool.
Roll me for damage.
Okay. How do I do that? How do I roll for damage with the weapon?
If you're on the actions page on your character sheet, there's a damage button and a critical button. Just damage will do. If you're using the strikes, like the quick select menu, there's also a little damage button off to the right.
Sorry, I know how to roll to attack. I just don't see on the action menu where the damage. Oh, there it is. Sorry, it says damage. Yep, I'm an idiot. There we go. 2. Ha!
Well, it's not much, but I'll say that he becomes frightened too because he's like, oh no, someone else who is a master of the blowgun, because he pulls out his own. Argus.
It's gonna be a
Shots have
contest.
been fired at this point. It's obvious.
Yes. Do I have a clear picture of the boss?
You know what? Sure, there's probably a way you can swing yourself over off the rafters to him if you really wanted to.
Correct. In that case, I'm going to spend one action to put myself into position, shoot him twice, and then go out of view. That's the first. Dang it. That's the second. Dang it.
Actually, since he's flat-footed because he has no freaking clue where you are, that
Uh-huh.
first one will hit.
All right. Here's the damage for that.
Ooh, it's a good hit. Why is
Out
he
of sight,
poor?
out of mind.
That was just a flurry of blows, I presume. You still have one action.
Yes. I still have an action. I'm spending that action to go out of view. I used
Ooh.
one action to move into view. One
Okay,
action
cool.
to move out.
Mrs. Staccato, you have a moment of the confusion to yourself, as it were.
All right, I'm gonna charge this guy.
Blowgun be damned.
Yep. And let's see, I don't have quite enough move to get into his space, but I have enough to scorpion whip him. Oh wait, no, and I have panache, so this is precise strike.
Oh.
So I strike with a flare. So I deal if I hit. So I gotta see if I hit. Sorry, it's a little bit complicated.
Yeah, that's
So
that hits.
17 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, cool. And then it's the confident finisher.
Oh gosh.
Which means I do precise. No, this is way too many freaking. Okay, 2d6. So 6 damage, and then my actual scorpion whip damage, which is 3, 9 damage.
Boss
yeah.
Boss Scrog is not looking so hot, and everyone else in the room is like super like, well, no, jump him, jump him.
Not looking so hot. Come on. He's a clear 5 out of 10.
Whereas before they seemed content to stay out of melee range. Now they're like basically hopping on this guy, like get him. Their turns are in sequence, but we'll just pretend that they're simultaneous. They didn't have their weapons out, so that's 3 actions to take it. Thank you, Argus, for elucidating. 2 swings and Mrs. Staccato, but he's got jukes.
What's your AC, by the by?
18.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I can bump that up to 20 with reaction.
Amazing work.
I'm a quick little fella.
Let's take a look. See, where did it all come from? Oh yeah, leather arm. Oh, you're trained. If I keep forgetting the proficiency is a thing nowadays. Marvelous. The large spider is lured to action by what looks to be an itty bitty 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 baby snack. And since its boss is Midfoots can talk to spiders, you presume, because Bruskrog points at you and it goes, "Yoop." It's going to use a pounce. So it hops on top of you with its jaws. Ooh, that will hit.
That will hit.
Hits for minimum though.
So do I apply that damage?
Yes, you click on your character and then you click on the leftmost button, which applies full damage.
Leftmost button on the attack with the damage thing.
Okay.
Apply full damage to select the tokens. Nice.
There you go.
After that, its two large claws swipe at you at lightning speed. That's
Okay,
more
that's
damage for
3
you.
attacks.
Be careful there, Mr. Staccato.
All right,
Holy
so-
crap.
Winnie
So wait,
starts
which-
yelling at Argus that you should get in there and provide some support or something.
I am. I no questions. Yes. Holy shit.
Unless you want to be down a boy. This guy does not know how to get around this thing. Like, suddenly it appears in front of him, and he has to spend a whole bunch of time running around. Scrog, who is still very much frightened, stumbles back. He steps back, takes out his blowgun, yells for them to fight you. Fight! Get him! Hit him with all you've got! He tries to hit you with his blowgun. A poison-tipped dart flies by your head. You can see the fluids drip off as it pings off the wall. Inger, you need to get in there. You need to help your friend.
I am indeed running in. And struggling with the interface as usual.
Don't we all?
Don't we freaking all, my dudes? Oh, for fuck's sake, I can't drive. So if I roll up to the spider, that's gonna be exactly my 20 feet. And I take out my very trusty longsword. Bang it on my lovely, lovely shield. And then bang the spider with my longsword. As you do.
Show me the goods. Dang, Skippy! Critical.
Nice.
It's about them buff dwarven arms.
Its attack against Staccato has left it open, and you immediately reduce it to below half of its maximum durability.
Hell yeah.
You've one action left, if I'm correct.
Oh, indeed.
Unless you raise your shield. I wasn't.
I do raise it. You know what? I do raise it. There's a lot of little shits over there.
Chiharu.
I'm going to
Mhm.
I'm going to raise my shield as a proper member of society.
I have a question.
But we did
Their little
see-
hood over icon on the top left of the spider, what is that?
That is someone aiming at it. You can use Alt-click to target something.
Yes.
And then when you click an
And-
attack, it automatically compares it to DAC.
Oh, wow, neat.
Streamlined.
However, it is now up to our resident cleric. What do they want to do? Chiharu.
Oh no, we lost them. They were here like a second ago, weren't they?
They were.
The microphone was unplugged for some reason.
Oh, fuck.
Gosh.
I'm going to cast Fear on that. What was it again? The
The
Solfugid?
big old spipper, yes.
Yes. Fear.
That dude.
Just call the spipper, man. Ooh. Success by 1. It's a little spooked, but not all that much.
And can't really do much else.
This
Oh,
guy hears spellcasting. But that's not his concern. It's the lady with the big sword that's a problem. Like, oh no, boss! Watch out! She's got a sword! Eh! Argus, you're all the way up there, and they're
Yes.
down there, and you're the sheriff. What do you do?
Yes. Well, I'm gonna drop down on the spider. I'm going to try and squash it.
when he tries to hold
Dropping
on.
my bow up there in order not to spend an action.
You can
I'm
drop it down the
moving
hole so
over
you can pick
here.
it up down there if you want to.
I want it to break, but fair enough. I suppose when I jump down, I can drop it on the floor here then.
Go. What do you do when
That's
you
the
land?
one action. Yes. I assume I am flanking because there's two people on the other
Yes,
side.
you are
that
definitely
lied to
flanking.
me. Correct. And I'm going to use the claw attack. The flurry of blows. That's the one.
Oof.
Nope.
15. You
That's
hit
the
him.
two.
You hit him. Karate
Yes.
chop.
And that is the damage. And since it's a bug, I'm going to be using bludgeoning because I'm going to squash it.
Nice.
Mr. Staccato. Whew. Got hit a little bit there, but you're still standing. Surrounded by these
Yep.
little itty bitty boys, or to
No,
you
wait,
actually quite
hold
big.
on.
Hmm?
This thing is supposed to be doing 1d6, so add plus. Let me just re-roll it.
Sure.
Right. Roll 1d6. That.
In that case,
So
you would
that's
have
gonna
destroyed
be
it.
6 plus 3. 6 plus 3.
As
Yeah.
you hit it in the back, its abdomen splits open, and the trauma of the wound causes it to curl up, like spippers do.
Disgusting.
You hear the scraping of its claws along the floor as it does so while standing upright.
Oh, there we go. That's why, because I used the wrong weapon on the ship. There we go.
Back to Mr. Staccato, who's having a great
All
time.
right. So as the bug, the giant spider dies, I jump up onto one of its flailing limbs, run all the way along it, and jump and do a flip over the big king's head to land on the other side of him.
That is
This
quite
Oh.
elaborate, but sure.
Yes.
While all of that is
Ah.
happening, I forgot I
That
still
is
have
so
one more
epic.
action. So I'm
Oh.
going to
So
pull back
Whoa.
from the spider.
All right. And I used my panache in the last turn, so acrobatics, normal acrobatics check, 10. I don't know if that beats his reflex check. Probably not.
No, it's 17.
All right. So then I don't move through him.
Oof.
So I'm stuck here.
Aha.
Yeah. So that's fine. Let's see here. So he's immune to my demoralize. So I'm gonna demoralize someone else. So his little buddies over here. Let's say, I apologize. I know it's extremely disruptive to an organization to watch the death of your senior man. I hope you manage to find counseling after this.
that's
17.
pretty.
Okay, is there anyone in particular you want? Because there's one who's a little hurt, and the rest are all like, who
The
cares?
one that hit me, I don't know. This one, I don't know. The one, actually no, the one that Inger's closest to, so she can wail on him.
Actually, I can look up specifically who hit you. I don't think
That's
any of them
fine.
hit you, actually.
I'm
Oh,
very
the
surprised
spider
that
that
they
hit
wail
me.
on anybody.
we'll just say
That's fine.
we'll just say this lovely fellow takes it.
All right, sounds good.
He's. Oh no, I'm spooked.
Sorry, so now I've got panache. And now I'm going to strike at the king. 9. Shit.
That won't hit him or the spider.
Oh, I wasn't aiming.
You have to unselect things, unfortunately. There is a button on your interface to the left that's like a circle with an X in it that clears all targeted selections. So,
Gotcha.
just so
Anyway,
you know.
okay, I missed.
They're not too sure what to do. What are we to do? What are we to do? They're all over the place. This one is gonna jump right on top of you, Inger.
God damn.
Leave our boss alone.
Absolutely the fuck not.
You are hit once. He gets you with his little itty bitty sword for 1 whole point.
Hold, I do have the reactive shield thing. May I whip it out now?
Oh, if you had your shield raised, then he won't hit you at all. No. Oh, but he will.
Oh,
That's still 20. It still matches.
Hell yeah.
If you really want to, you can totally shield block 1 damage and take none.
I think we're okay. I think we're okay.
You should have shield block. You are a fighter. You should get that one for free. Yeah, it just doesn't have it in your reactions for some reason. That's.
Yeah. Like, I don't
I
Do,
see it.
think I know
And I don't know how
why.
to put it
I
in
think I know why. If you give me a moment, I can fix it for you. It's because
Thank
the
you.
feat does not work the same way that the The feat you get as a fighter doesn't count as the actual feat, so it doesn't include it as a. Here you go. Now you should have it under your reactions. But yes,
Yeah,
Thank you
have
very
to
much.
add them separately.
Okay.
this hurt midflit does
Fun
not want to be
fact.
this close to Mr. Staccato, so he
Well,
scurries on over to Chiharu like you look like an easy target. Yeah. As long as it's away from that scary man with a scary whip.
Whip.
He too turns into a flurry of oh man, they're rolling like ballers now. Ooh, Chiharu, careful there. Scared he may be, he's coming right at you. You didn't see it coming. Ooh, ooh. The big spider's dead, so that one doesn't affect anything anymore. This little itty bitty boy, he still has his little darts. He's just gonna go for. Can he throw twice? No, but he can throw once. No, he's gonna do something else. He's gonna run in there after casting Bane. Mr. Staccato and Inger, click your tokens and then click the save DC 16 will. It will automatically roll your will save and tell you if you succeeded.
sorry about what? Click my token and do what?
Click your token and click on the spell card. Save
Which one's
DC
that?
16 will.
So every non-friendly ally in this area, so every enemy, so that means you,
Okay.
has to make a will save, or you become affected by a -1 status penalty to attack rolls.
Has Staccato even rolled? Excuse me, Mr. Staccato. Have they rolled below 20 today?
Yeah, no,
It
I
doesn't
have.
mean-
I just missed an attack. I spent all this
Ah.
time.
Inger, can you roll your will save too, please?
And I
Will
failed
save.
again.
Oh
Not impressed.
Jesus.
You can just click your token and then click the save DC button that's on the spell card, actually. So you don't have to find it on your sheet.
I freaking missed and okay, right clicking. Okay, I'm just trained in it, not an expert. Okay, thank you. Is that it?
I'm going to
Is that
repeat
the
this because it's useful to know. You click your token,
Yeah.
and on the spell card, that Bane one up there, is a button that says Save DC 16 Will. If you click that while you have your token selected, it will roll the will save for that particular character. So I can, for example, click all the misflits and then push the button, and it automatically rolls them all for them. See?
thing? If I do this,
It's really useful to have.
I'm trying to find a thing, but
Okay,
bruh.
it's in the
So the character sheet, the red part on the left, right?
No, I'm talking about a specific feature on the chat box. On the
Oh,
spell
sweet
card.
Jesus. Okay. Okay,
Yeah, it's
opening
confusing.
that one.
On
Yeah,
where it
there's
said
a whole
the
lot.
Bane spell that got cast, it says save DC 16 will. So if you click on yourself and then on the button, then it should do it for you.
Token.
Which makes it a bit easier to do, because you don't have to open your sheet. You can just click yourself and go.
Yeah, so on this thing. God, Jesus fuck. Okay, that. So I have the thing open? Aha, okay, okay. Bless. Good lord.
We'll roll with that for now.
This
You
is
make
the
it. You're not
fix.
affected for now. Boss Skrog's
Oh.
turn comes up. Argus, you have made yourself distinctly a dangerous foe. How would you like to taste this? A poisoned
I'm just
dart. You take from this terrifying dart. Wait. Oh, that's the trident. Excuse me. For one, I'm rolling the trident. His blowgun skill is significantly higher. He misses on the. Oh. Argus got them jukes.
That's fantastic. I'm just pretending to be a lampshade. I'm the right color for it too. I'm a bin pole and Winnie's my lampshade.
When he's flying around all over the place as they hold on to you.
As they should.
Inger, what do you do? There's plenty of little boys to beat up as they're trying to kill you.
There's
Good,
one on
good
me.
profoundly.
Wink.
Good lord. Ah.
Detect dwarf.
I mean, I am right next to this little dude. Is he in range of my longsword?
This guy, and this guy are all in range of your longsword. Yes.
Excellent.
guy.
Yeah, I
He's
need the
underneath
spider.
the spider. Safi, could you make the spider invisible?
I did not know there was a guy.
Okay, then you know what? Never mind. I'ma scoot to flank this little shit, and then I'm gonna whip his ass.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. You move around. Sorry, I always forget that like token Z levels aren't the same for everyone. So for me, they were
Yeah.
on top, so you should see them. But to you, that wasn't the case, and that's my problem. I need to
Yeah.
remember to make them visible.
The only reason
That's
they are
really-
visible for you is because you're the one clicking them last.
Yep. Sorry. Anyway, you're flanking this guy. He doesn't like that.
Frankie. God damn it!
You have 1 action left. How do you want to spend it?
Should
Ah,
pick him up
trying
and
thinking
throw him,
again.
trip him,
What?
trip him, or trip him,
You have
If you
the-
fail it,
or
if
grapple
you
him
fail
or
a
something.
trap, there's penalties.
also they don't have a hand free, which is required to do combat maneuvers.
Yeah. I'm like on my swing back from the longsword,
Mm-hmm.
try to butt it with my hilt.
Ooh, going in for another swing. Show me that swing. Wow.
Wait, what?
That is amazingly bad luck.
That
Two
is
ones.
Like this whole game. Like am I
Mr.
fucking
Staccato has stolen all the 20s.
for two
You're-
1
you
rolls
are
in
a
a row.
roll.
You get a hero point. We'll make that a roll.
I mean, this is impressive.
It's very
Like-
impressive. Chiharu,
Jesus.
one little man has decided that you are worthy of his attention. He's just swinging right at you. He's just no tactics, no refinement. He's just swinging that sword and running at you, side to side.
And it's working.
Surprisingly well, yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast Shield on myself.
Swing at that,
Wait,
baby.
Wait. Need to delete the effects first to get the because this one expired,
Yeah, apparently they're building that in too.
and then I'm gonna try and smack him with a hammer.
Uh
How
oh.
do I target again? There we go.
Are you for some reason proficient with? Oh, I don't think it matters when you roll 20.
I am proficient with warhammers. Yes.
Okay, allow me to make a quick addition to your sheet then, so make sure that that's properly integrated. Because right now it thinks that you're not.
It does.
No, it's because your Warhammer specifically. Oh, mystification. Oh, that's great. Yeah, it. Yeah. Okay. Oh, weird. This is so weird. I remember that before proficiencies could be set a certain way. I'll just take care of this. It should now have your. Yeah. Now you. No. What the hell's going on?
It says I'm trained though.
Yeah,
On
but it
the-
doesn't include it for some reason. Oh, it's because your strength is 1. That's why everything's so bad. Oh, forgot that part. Whoops.
Yes.
How is your unarmed attack this then? Oh yeah, because it's agile, right? No. Yeah.
It's agile
Yeah,
uses dexterity.
That all right? Yes. Yep. You hit him real hard, and he's already looks immediately dazed as he runs into your hammer. Oh. This guy's been left behind. He doesn't like that.
And then the cheeky.
Oh, you have one more
unarmed
action,
attack.
yes.
Yes.
Ooh. Hey, let's see how that works. Well, that's where all of Inger's luck went.
And there's solid 0.
Wait, how does that work?
It's
I
supposed to
rolled
do
a
a
1
minimal
and
of
a
1.
-1.
Can you re-roll that? Because I don't think that's how that's supposed to work out.
Okay.
It should be rolling a minimum of 1.
Yeah.
So a critical of 1 would be 2.
I guess the both of you learn from each other's combat skills, just swinging wildly, and it works for you as much as it worked for him. This little
Cross counter.
cross counter indeed. This little mifflet is coming right at Inger with a very specific intent, and that is to bump into your legs and knock you over. It doesn't have any athletics, so it tries a strength check, and it falls over instead and tries to get back up again. If you want to, you can take attack for opportunity and smack it on the head.
I would enjoy that greatly. Really, truly. What do I
Okay.
do?
You just roll an attack roll with your full MAP, because it's off your turn.
Mm-hmm.
So just roll with whatever weapon you feel comfortable. In case you missed it, he stepped, tried to trip, and then had to stand back up because he fell prone, because he whooped, and then he gets bonked on the head. That's a critical hit, by the way, because you hit by 10, because he was flat-footed when you made it, because he was standing up. So please roll me a critical longsword. Oh, that's twice what you needed to instant knock him out, so he's just gone now.
Yeah, obliterated. That's when I like playing.
You swing him right as he stands up into it, and he just goes, eh.
Yeah,
Argus.
aiming for that crook of the neck.
Boss Grog is almost down, and the remaining 2 Mitflits look like their morale might break if you succeed at getting rid of him.
Correct. The
When-
king talks too much.
Winnie is giving you some pointers on how to make this, how to make that next swing count. Like just hit him right there. Hit him right there.
Let's try it. That's the one. That's the two.
You hit him
Here's the
once.
damage for the first one.
That knocks him out.
1-2.
Unless you want to, the other midflits will at this point break. They're like, oh no, 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 oh no, the boss is gone.
I'm going
And
to.
they'll,
I'm going to spend my last action to provide flanking.
like I said, they're gonna try to run away. You can fight them and kill them or capture them if you want to, but they are not putting up any further resistance. They're either out of here
I've
or they're
knocked
just
out-
like, no, no, no.
I've knocked out the king. We can interrogate him. He probably knows the most. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Then these guys
The
are just
rest
out
we
of
can
here.
just kill.
You do not. You don't. I'm not making you miss out on experience or anything here. Don't worry about that.
Fair enough.
Well, the king is unconscious as you karate chopped him on the head. Per Winnie's instructions, Winnie's taking credit for this one.
As they should.
I mean, to be fair, Boss Skronk would have actually surrendered if you had done like even 1 point of hit damage. But hey. Anyway, now that he's unconscious, you might want to. Winnie provides the polite advice that if you're taking someone prisoner, it's good at work ethic to take away his weapons. Just a hint.
Correct. Breaks his arms.
No, that's what people would do to you.
I understand. I know. I expect that people to do that. That's how it was done where I grew up.
I am extremely familiar with dealing with uncooperative individuals.
Checking his pockets, you will find the following tidbits of equipment. And hey, there's some poison in there too.
Ooh.
I'm-
Mm,
I'm just going to use one of my healing fonts things to do that third action heal.
Oh, nice.
So,
I am-
if I was a dipshit GM, I'd be like, hey, that would also heal the spider, wouldn't it? But it's assumed that you're smart enough not to do that.
2 action
Yeah.
rather than 3 action.
Especially because Winnie would give you an earful for days.
That
Well,
would be-
the spider's still
So wait,
invisible.
Does that heal me?
Yeah, this-
that one? Or?
Yeah, this is a 3 action heal, so it affects everyone in 30 feet. They get 1 hit point back of health.
I'm not doing so well with my damage rolls. I can crit,
Yeah.
You
but
can-
I can't.
You can always take 10 minutes to recover your stamina fully, and a resolve point.
Correct.
Resolve
you
and
have
stamina are noted under your hit point, so in the top left of your ribbon. Little wink. Well, Boss Skrog will come back whenever you say that he does, because you knocked him out.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cast Dancing Lights, and I'm gonna set one of them directly like above his head.
Okay.
So it's like an interrogation. Because this is dark, right? So like it's like shining really bright and harsh directly on him as he's tied up,
Yeah.
and then I just start slapping him slowly and calmly and rhythmically across the face until he wakes up.
For context, he has dark vision, so he is probably very blind from that.
Yeah. I hope to get some kind of advantage on bonus on my.
Oh, you
intimidation
will.
check here.
I think he's learned enough after getting beat up. I mean, a thing I forgot about that's kind of important is that they have this. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah, you're gonna make him talk. You're gonna make him squeal.
All right, let's see. Well, I only got a 10, but
Combined with everything
So-
going on, you can definitely coerce him to give you something that you want to know. So
Alright.
ask me some questions, and I'll say when that's the point where he's like, no.
Mr. Boss Man, Mr. Boss Man, today is not your day. This is not going well for you. Your spider's dead. Friends have left. Whatever plans you may have had, those plans are gone. Now you need to be concerning yourself with is any plans you have to continue respiring. Now that is up to subject some high amount of question. See that dwarf over there? She wanted to kill you. She hates people like you, and she hates what you did. I had to hold her back from ripping every one of your fingers off and then stuffing them down your throat. until you choked to death. She is a
Can I like
terrifying-
flex and growl, like just
Yeah.
scowling?
Yes, you're
Like,
allowed to
like-
contribute.
Go berserk.
Now I am going to do everything in my power to prevent her from actually literally devouring your flesh. But I need some sort of cooperation from you in return. Do you understand?
He just gives you that very quick nod that people give when they're under pressure.
Now, what are your intentions in regards to our dear Hamlet? Ask, shit, what's the name of the town?
Otari.
Sorry.
Otari,
Atari.
and he gives you the brief rundown. He's like, that he thought he could take it over. Like he has a big old scorpion. He has several big old maggots. He thought he could just go to town and make it his own. I mean, that's very
Gonna step away
optimistic,
for
but
a sec. I'll be back in a
That's it.
moment.
That's the entire plan.
that's yeah. I mean, the battle
You're
plan
going
that's
to invade the entire town with the people who are in this room.
well, there are some more. He will politely inform you that he has a giant fly in a room. He has like 3 big old maggots, and he has at least like
Ah,
6 more dudes.
okay. And these dudes are within this structure, within these rooms here.
Not. In fact, there are like, if you go through those double doors and then you go through them again, you'll get into a room where like 4 of them are usually stationed. They're supposed to be digging out a way downstairs, 2 downstairs.
Ooh.
So, when we encounter these people, I, being a peaceful, fun-loving individual, have no desire to cause the same amount of physical and psychological damage to them as you did to your compatriots and yourself. So, what can we do to avoid having some sort of nasty conflict with them?
Well, if you just take my ground, they'll certainly know what that means. Although I can't guarantee that they aren't in the spirit for a fight.
What does crown fit me?
It's a bit big, but you can make it work.
All right, sweet.
Have it with like a rakish angle. Make it look intentional.
There you go. I'm gonna set it on top of my derby. It looks pretty good on me. I can make anything.
Very dashing, very dashing.
Oh yeah, thank you. What else can you tell us about the various denizens and hazards of this here domicile?
Let's take a look. See. Area 15. In the northern section of the structure are some glowing ghosts and a big altar and cool glass. You saw a guy with some equipment there that looked pretty neat. There's also a haunting nearby, like a big old pile of rubble with cool stuff in it, but it's haunted by kobolds ghosts. There's also a river drake, or well, he tells you about a creature that Winnie will probably tell you river drake. There, patched, of a water dragon that lives, a swamp dragon is actually what he calls it, that lives somewhere under the docks to the
My
northwest.
goodness, we have a full house here.
Hello.
Oh, and there's one more thing that he'll gladly tell you, which is that a boat full of people like yourself, like well, not like you, but like Argus and the dwarf lady came here a little over a week ago, and he hasn't seen them since. So wherever they went.
So Argus, yeah, we've got some ghosts or some glowing lights up in the north part that's got like someone with some equipment, so it sounds like some treasure. There's some ghosts. There's like a water drake, I think he said, underneath the docks. And an adventuring party came here a week ago and has not been seen.
Gotcha.
Some additional
Thank you.
details because you're here to investigate Gauntlight.
Yes.
Specifically the lights. He'll tell you that Gauntlight does in fact light up at night. Like, he doesn't know what it's about him, but sometimes it even shines its light around and it causes skeletons to start moving and flesh to animate again. And hey, he's also like, hey, if you want me to stay out of your way, you can go down the next floor and get rid of all those mushroom-eyed people. Then we can go back to living there.
Which mushroom people are these?
You haven't seen them yet. They're somewhere downstairs, apparently.
Okay.
Does the last she recognized them by any chance? By description?
And Winnie's like, listen, that description fucking blows. There are hundreds of things that have mushroom eyes, man. I'm supposed to recognize it on one detail.
Like, are you being racist?
No,
like, all
I'm a plant.
people know each other?
No, it just doesn't narrow it down.
No, mushroom eye is more shape of an eye than, like, their eyes are actual mushrooms. It means their eyes are big.
Interesting.
Could be snail people, could be zombies with crab growing out of them.
Could be something like
Gross.
Morlocks or kobolds or goblins.
Hmm.
whatever they are.
We can
I
attack him.
wouldn't mind keeping a red kobold as a pocket lighter. Just pull him out, light up a cigarette.
Also, as you have this conversation, in between you get these little pepper things of like, there used to be more of us, we used to be bigger, but some of them got eaten by the slurk outside, and others. Let's just say that Midflits aren't exactly the most organized individuals.
Maybe it's time to learn.
Would y'all stop causing trouble if we handled that frog?
I mean, at this point, Scrog is in no position to cause any more trouble. He's given you his crown. He's lost some of his men and his big spider. And he's already like, I'll give up all my plans if you just let me go. Please. I would love to have another breakfast tomorrow.
You
Just
know
one.
what? Relatable. 2020 did that to everybody.
Hashtag relatable.
Why are you talking in eldritch truths?
All right.
Hashtag relatable.
Well, I want to thank you for your cooperation. You have divulged an enormous amount of information, and I think that you have pacified my good friend here enough to where she will turn her insane psychotic aggression on another individual instead of
That
herself.
means I can leave, right?
Congratulations. You get to see another day.
I
don't do
snap my teeth at him and wink.
Oh my god.
The
Don't
second
threaten him with a
The
good
second he is released or has any chance to scoot, he scoots. He just neumes off like a rat.
Zoom.
You seem like a nice fella. All right, I'm gonna take a minute and spend how does this work? Spend a stamina point to get my stamina back?
You can spend a resolve point and 10 minutes, and you can recover all of that.
Cool. Get 3 resolve points, and I'm up to 6 stamina points. Okay, cool. Mr. Foxy Man, any chance that you could give a little more healing my way?
Another thing you could try to do is use the medicine skill if anyone has that.
Yes, I could do that.
Okay, that's great.
If you have a combat medicine feat, you can also do it in combat. 2d6 on that.
Well, you can use it as a
DC
one-action
15
thing. Which, by the way, is separate from the normal 10-minute version in terms of
Yes.
timers.
Yes.
Well, that's religion. What medicine?
No, proselytizing his wounds does not help. Okay, that means he gets 48 hit points back.
48?
Yeah! I think you're back to full,
48.
man.
Yeah, that's gonna be. Even if he rolls all ones, I'm back to full. So.
Just give yourself full.
I'm good.
That's a good band-aid. That's a Winnie grade band-aid.
It's a little band-aid with a little decal on it. Nice work.
Argus, are you going to recover some stamina?
I think I'm gonna be good for the time being. Although, if we're spending time, yes. Please.
You might as well get those 4 points, but you never know. You never know. It says you're the man who uses aid in 5e. You should know.
Yes.
Oh yeah. All right, let's check the rest of this room. Anything treasury or of note or interest?
Harvestable from the corpses.
No.
If you happen to have survival, unfortunately, it seems like the big spider doesn't actually have any venom to extract.
Mm.
And the other Midflits just have their standard stuff on them. Nothing too exciting going on here.
Safi, by any chance, I can't seem to be able to edit my stamina bar. Could you help me with that?
You can write. Oh,
You gotta do it in your character sheet.
Weird that
on
you
your
can't do that. I thought you could.
stamina points.
Why can't you edit it? Can you not select the number?
Yes, it just won't let me.
Oh, that's because the rotating thing is in the way. Just click a little higher.
Ah, give me a second. Nope.
There. Huh? Oh. Oh yeah, it's doing the same for me. Okay, cool.
Now it's back to full.
Weird. Very weird.
Foundry decided to be haunted today.
Hey, Argus.
Yes.
I got a hunch about that skeleton out there by the front door. You got the same one? You got a brain up there?
Yes. Yes. I think it was there last time I checked it.
It's still there if you take a peek.
Yes.
Want me to show you how I can... You know what? I'll leave it to you guys. You can probably handle one skeleton. It's just one.
Did the guy drop the trident?
Yes, he did. You have the trident in your loot sheet right now.
All right, fair enough. I would like to use that trident to pin this bastard down while
The
everybody gangs up on it.
second you poke the skeleton, you hear this clattering of bones.
Just hold
First,
the
allow
door.
me to describe to you what you actually see when you open the door properly. A 15-foot stone walkway spans a narrow stretch of swamp water, connecting the ruined keep to the large stone outbuilding. Double doors block each end of the hallway. Standing before the southeast door is a 7-foot tall skeleton dressed in armor made of gnarled roots, bones, and rusted metal. The skeleton clenches a
tall
morning
again?
star in one withered hand, with the weapon's heavy spiked tip resting on the walkway at the skeleton's feet.
How tall is it again?
7 feet.
I'm still taller.
The second you poke him,
Yes.
you become aware of the fact that this skeleton isn't animated, but held up by struts, and your poking has caused him to collapse.
Mm. That was clever.
Well, it keeps animals
Well,
away.
Dummies, yes. It's a humanoid figure. Mm. I don't suppose the skeleton actually has anything.
Well, the Morning Star is in unusually good condition,
Hmm.
which, considering the rest is rusted and it should be rusting, that might mean something.
Maybe it's just stainless steel. Or something.
What an
Okay.
investment.
Yes. Like to put it on the in the bag.
Taking a good look at the thing as you pick it up off the ground, you become aware of the
Yes.
fact that it has a rune imprinted upon it.
Ooh. Does anybody recognize what rune it is? Because I believe I'm only trained in occultism, but not arcana or anything relevant.
This is a pretty basic rune, so anyone with like basic understanding of magic, which is probably your cleric, can tell you that this is a +1 Morning Star. Now,
Ooh.
you don't have to keep that +1 rune on this weapon. You can totally take some time and some money and transfer it to another weapon.
Alright.
+1 means that it has a +1 to hit, which is really useful. Already had whatever. It's also worth a bit of money because runes are expensive.
Correct. I think it's going to be worth like 35 GP at the very least.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Also,
It's-
from here you can also see the little kobold corpse that's on the bank.
I'm not seeing it.
No, in character you can see it. There's no token for it.
Ah! Fair enough.
Ye dingy.
Is it... How decayed is it? Does it have anything?
How decayed is it? How bad is it? That's a great question. Let me run it through my head as I
mean,
look it up again.
If it's just like, putrefied, I'm not going to touch that. But if it's a mummy, why not?
It's
I'll pull it
described as half decayed and half buried in mud and leaves. It has a big backpack on its back that looks like something might be in it.
out. Alright, if I reach over with all of my considerable length, is it possible for me to grab it without attracting the attention of the big old frog over there?
How sneaky are you? Oh, you have an 8?
I have +6, but I have +8, extra +2 circumstantial if I spend an action to camouflage myself.
Okay, in that case, I'll say that you can definitely just quickly go over there and pick it up without getting his attention.
Yes, scuttle over, scuttle back.
I mean, there's plenty of
Desecrate
bubbling
the
sounds and
remains.
wind around to cover your noise. You, from the back, will
Correct.
recover the following items. You recover 4 gold pieces. Nice. And the materials necessary to construct a spike snare.
Sounds appropriate for kobold.
Indeed. So if you wanted to live up to your kobold dreams, there you go.
I do occasionally dream of being tiny.
You can talk to Winnie all about what it's like.
Yes. Oh, moving on in that case. Mr. Staccato, you do the honors if you wish.
Sorry, I was talking to someone. Oh, you want me to get the door open?
That is okay. What I was about to suggest is for Mr. Staccato to climb on my
Yeah.
hand, and I can hover them in front of the window or something at this rate.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
You mean
All
this
right.
window
In that
over
case,
here?
maybe not here because I had to sneak because of the frog. The other side has windows, I believe.
Right. I'm down on the marsh. I'm confused by what's going on right now.
There's a frog on the left down on the marsh, so I've been thinking of actually going
Right.
which would be
Over.
the northwest.
Oh, we want to
Northeast.
go northwest. Okay.
Northeast. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Well, you go have fun, boys.
Yes. Oh, I'm gonna carry him over here.
Your heavy feet sog through the marsh. Again, difficult terrain because you're so close to the water.
Correct.
Once you get to this area, you see. Let's see. Well, you see this strut up north in the distance. You also see that there's a large hole in the wall, like crumbled, as if destroyed, perhaps by a rock, perhaps by other types of force. Over here.
I will back into the rest of the party. I'm going to tell them that. Hold on. We spotted something. We'll be back in a moment. And I would like to stomp through the mud to the hole.
Once you get around
Actually,
here.
hold on. There's a window right here. We can try and peek through that first. So,
Alrighty, tidy then. Let me tell you what you see in the room labeled sinkhole. There might be a sinkhole. Almost the entire ceiling of this room has collapsed. While below, the floor has crumbled into a 10-foot deep sinkhole filled with rubble, mud, and glistening patches of fungus. Evidence of ancient damage, such as burn marks and scorch marks, and acid scorch marks, decorate the walls and much of the rubble. So imagine the center of the room was like hit with a massive explosion of fire and acid.
Someone had Taco Bell.
Yep. As Scrog mentioned, because he told you specifically that this was going on, you are more aware of what's happening. There are indeed some midflits scurrying around in the sinkhole debris, and they're trying to like dig it out. But they're not making a great effort because right now they seem to be fighting over some sort of tasty treat, like a little glowing mushroom.
Something they found. All right, fair enough.
They're not paying any attention at all as a result.
If Mr. Staccato has no objections, I'm going to move them over to the hole.
Yeah, that's fine.
The nozzle. And Winnie as well, if they're following us.
Winnie provides you a polite warning that it should not walk through marshlands too greedily, because places like this is where will-o-wisps and such hang out.
That's true.
Also, there's that marsh drake, which might take some objections to us being here, just saying.
Well, I'm being quiet and sneaky-like.
She ended up ghosting me. All right. So this is another...
Okay, you see a large room. Let me read you the description and also tell you what you hear up ahead. Piles of rotting timbers and loose stones line heaps throughout this large, ill-shaped hall. Clumps of moss and tangled vines spill down from gaps in the wooden ceiling, each above a pile of rubble. Several doors lead out to all sides, most barely clinging to their hinges and frames. Debris blocks a wooden stairwell that leads up to a large hole in the ceiling. Here and there, the stone wall bears scars of fire damage or other damage from an ancient battle. More importantly, you hear around the corner some midflits eagerly encouraging something to do its best. You can do it. Yeah, like that. Considering you talked about maggots, they might be training one.
That's cute, actually. If nobody's objecting, I would like to pull back and report to the rest of the party.
As you begin pulling back,
alternative way in. Yes, go ahead.
A hand grabs at your feet. As Winnie had warned you, places like this, off the beaten path, are where the restless undead are. People sucked under the marshes, drowned, or suffocated. But now that they are undead, they are eternal. They need no air, and they have energy for days, so eventually they will dig their way out, and they will come for the living. Your fort save is good enough that you manage to avoid getting caught. But when he's like, heck! Why'd you have to go and rouse all the dead people around here, Argus?
It just happens.
They're just trying to sleep.
That's correct. Well, if they're trying to sleep, there you go. This is what I'm going to be doing.
Winnie, you're not fighting. Stop. You're here to help.
Give me one gosh darn second.
Go nuts, man.
There we go.
Don't let me pee on your parade.
There you go.
Mr. Staccato is also involved in this. Everyone else will probably hear Winnie yelling about Argus being a weenie.
Gonna start moving to see to help out to see what's up at least.
So
We
minus.
shouldn't be. Don't step on unfavorable terrain here. I'm pulling out.
Should we throw you a rope so we can
Not
like pull you out?
necessarily. I'm pretty sure I'll be fine. Safi, does that restrict my movement speed?
The marsh you're currently in, it counts as difficult terrain, yes.
So it would be half movement. Is that correct?
Yes, half movement. It's twice for.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to spend 3 of my actions to move 35 feet.
Do you still have Mr. Staccato in your hand?
Yes, I am carrying them.
Then he will
and
come
Winnie.
along, as long as he doesn't like actively try to resist. He'll just come along.
I mean, if Mr. Staccato chooses to, he can stay with the zombies. That's 15.
Oh my god, I can't believe that Luffy just pushes the undead back in. Just like that.
Yes. That's his first reaction to seeing a zombie. I'm not gonna fight like 50 of them at once. I'm
Inger,
gonna try and funnel them back.
even from where you're standing, you can see two waterlogged bodies draw themselves from the water. It's like mostly neck and shoulders, but they're coming over.
Can I pick them off with my longbow?
Definitely. They're easy to. As I mentioned, if you're in the water, you are counted as flat-footed because, it's hard to dodge when you're in the water like this.
Yeah, I prefer to do it from where I'm standing if it's within reach. Like,
Yep.
I don't see their tokens.
Oh, you don't see their tokens. Well, they're right over here.
I believe, however, there is
Oh,
a
there we go.
feat that might allow you to do so. To
Let
dodge in the
me-
water, I mean.
Let me just check my longbow range and things.
It should be good enough.
Then don't mind if I do. Oh yeah, boy.
We call that one hell of a shot. Dang.
There you go. Underwater Marauder. You're not flat-footed while in water, and you don't take the usual
If
penalties
you
for
have
using
that,
a
then
blood
yes,
type
you are
or
completely
flesh.
unaffected by being in this deep water.
Gotcha. I do not, however.
Zombies are notoriously
Sarcastic.
easy to hit, but they also keep moving. So while this arrow makes his head like budge back a bit, he immediately slumps back to the same position he was before as he rises up and keeps moving. You have one more action. Would you like to spend it to shoot again? Pot shooting zombies is great.
Especially when they're just being very easy prey. So yeah, don't mind if I do. And does it have any bits that look like they're holding it up? Like if it has any remnants of lungs, I would like to pierce that. You feel?
I don't think that would particularly hurt a zombie who doesn't need to breathe, but sure. Give me the go.
Yeah, just
I meant
stop
on the
making it.
physics bit. Like if there's anything helping it float, let's not help it float. But sure.
Nuts. Ooh. Go ahead and give me the damage. Normal damage, no critical. Oof.
Yeah, that's something.
Chiharu. Undeath is coming.
I need to get close to use Disrupt Undead, but I also don't want to get too far ahead.
You can hold.
Go around here. So like, I'll have to go through that. Okay. I'm just preparing for when they get close.
I believe you can hold a spell or move yourself to the bottom of the initiative. How does it work in a system, Safi? Remind me, please.
What are you talking about? Okay, what are we at?
If you take a spell and prepare a spell and just hold an action, does that move you to the bottom of the initiative or something?
Okay, quick thing. Technically speaking,
Yes.
if I was an asshole and I wanted to tell you to go fuck yourself, I would say you can't prepare spells into second edition unless they're one action because you can't prepare anything other than one action activities.
Correct.
However, I'm perfectly fine with you readying a spell. You don't cast a spell. It's not 5e where you lose it because I think 5e really shouldn't have done that. It's a little too mean. You can totally ready a spell, but you have to specify what would make you cast it, and we'll go from there. So what are you preparing?
preparing Disrupt Undead and just waiting for.
You're waiting for one to get in range, probably. Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, when one gets in range, we'll say that he takes share. Up winning out of the way. He's not gonna be bothered. You'll give him a blast. Gotcha. You'll spend your reaction on this because you need to react to something. Mr. Staccato.
All right. So these. Sorry, my wife was texting me.
Not a
So
problem.
these zombies are still coming, yeah.
They're definitely coming.
All right.
They smell the living, and your fey goodness.
I wonder if we can just like not deal with these guys.
The zombies are extremely slow, so you can probably outrun them.
Yeah. I'm thinking. Yeah. Let's just go back and get in this doorway and talk to these guys. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave. I'm not interested in these zombies. They do not impress me.
I'm not
So I'm just
impressed.
I'm not impressed with you.
The zombies that are in
Yeah.
the water, the waterlogged forms, they look like goblins. But when they move towards you, you become aware of the fact that they're under their lower halves are these squid tentacle-like things that make them quite fast in the water. Of course, we're still talking about super deep marsh stuff with a lot of mud in the way, so they only move so fast. It takes a few actions for them to dig themselves out, and even then they can only move so much. Like I said, they're really at a disadvantage here. Whoop. And a good old-fashioned woo. Argus. Oh wait, first,
Yes.
Chiharu, you get a clean shot at one of them. Give me the goods.
Yes. Boom.
Let's see. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. And they're both pretty much the same. So we'll go for this guy who's already got an arrow sticking out of him. Oh, no, he fails. Roll me damage, please. Oh, no. He takes an extra 5 damage because zombies have a lot of flesh, and all that flesh resonates with the positive energy, causing it to fall apart faster.
Yay.
Argus, it's your turn. What do you do?
Yes. Let's see. Are they also affected by the marshy terrain?
For the most part, yes.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to pull close to one, attack them with the claws, with the slashing damage, try to capitalize on their rotting flesh, and then step away.
We need to
So,
start yelling
that's
like, yeah,
one.
get him with the claws. They're easy to cut.
Correct.
Falls off like beef jerky.
Wow. That's
Well,
one.
you're the one falling off like beef jerky.
That is two.
That's a critical hit. That is 23 damage. You instantly destroy the zombie. Its head flies in the air.
That was easy. And I'm going to pull back as far as I can.
Inger. At least it's not a repetition of that, what's it called?
What?
The skeleton incidents that kept recurring.
Is there any skeleton left to target?
There are no skeletons to target, there are only zombies. Cast out thine
You know
gaze.
dang well what I meant, bud.
There's one right over here. And there's one right over here. Additionally, or better said, unfortunately, you're making a lot of noise.
Whom?
Well, that's one dude less to worry about. You have 2 actions left. You can shoot at will. There's one more guy in the back you can shoot that you can see. When you
Well, if I can reach it, then why the heck not?
make a little air punch, just like, yeah. You're in the head. That's where we want to get him. Pew, pew. That's a hit. Square in the head. Pew. 1. Uno. Chiharu.
Oh,
Ready another casting?
yes.
It's a cantrip. It's free. Mr. Staccato, you start to hear some sounds coming from the back, which is to say that that Slurk might have picked up on what's going on.
Oh, the big frog.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. I'm going to move up. I'm gonna move over to see the slurk. Is it coming? Is it looking at me?
Use the slurk is like turning around at this point, and yes, it's moving towards you.
All right, so I want to cast Ghost Sound. And I want to cast it
Away.
farther. Oh yeah, away
Okay.
from us. The
Can
sound
you
of like something small and weak splashing.
can you roll me either deception or stealth to see if it falls for this ruse?
I will go for Deception. Actually, no, better stealth. Huh?
Because either you remain hidden and it's like, oh, there's only one
Oh,
sound.
come on.
Now, there's a thing called hero points that you have.
Oh yeah.
You should have
That
one.
sounds good. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. How do I? So is that let me reroll?
If you right-click it, there's literally a thing that says reroll with using a hero point. It's great. Right-click the text box.
Reroll using.
That is. I'll be honest. I think someone doesn't like you.
Hey.
All right, cool.
You
Take
get
it or leave it. You got 20s earlier. That's the tyranny of the
And then
die.
I got a 1 and then a reroll.
well, people get rerolls if they reroll a 1 and it's a 2 or a 1. Because it's like, nah, man. I don't give out hero points that often for that to be the way that should go.
Alright.
As I mentioned, this thing comes in closer. That should be your turn because you stepped and cast a spell for 2 actions.
Alright, cool.
Try for the third time.
Shiharu, keep casting those spells because one's coming right at you. It's interesting how the spell is the way it is. Damage, please, because it still takes half. Half is 3, and then plus 3, plus 5. Resist. I really like how they work because it's like, okay, you get 5 extra damage. On a critical, it's like, it doesn't get doubled. But on a successful save, it's like, hey, at least I get that 5 damage.
Yes.
It is the ultimate best of both worlds. So they will spend both of their actions to move as far as they can. They really do shamble. They really do shamble. Another one turns around the corner. The Slurk first has to spend a whole turn to get to the wall. Then it latches onto it. Its feet covered in this sticky slime, and it uses its 30 feet movement speed to rush on over. Up to here. And then it looks like it's about to... and spits this thick glob of entangling slime at Mr. Staccato. But he's small. It's easy to dodge something that big.
If you spend as much time with slime as I have, some of the parties I've been to, that's great.
Argus. All these zombies
Yes.
are so polite. They're all coming for you.
Yes. I've heard some noise from behind, but it seemed like, well, Mr. Staccato is handling it as best as they can. Namely, gosh. This way, apparently. I'm gonna step forward, I'm gonna slice the zombie twice, and step back. That's
See,
the one.
If anyone ever asks like what the deal is with monks, this is the deal with monks. They get to attack twice if they do this little cheeky dance.
Yes!
I think it's going to be dead because you hit him twice.
That's the 1 damage, that's the 2, plus 5 to each.
So yeah, remember when I said that 5 extra damage? It's just great. It's just great that those weaknesses, they're great, aren't they? They're great. He goes, yeah, give him 2 cuts, and the zombie slices land on the ground, not having enough remaining negative energy to keep going.
I'm gonna stop all the way back somewhere over here in the corner, but like not in the water.
Yeah, you're all right, Inger.
Yes.
You can hear the Staccato getting blasted with slime, so you can try to help him, or you can focus on the zombies that remain.
I think we have the zombies handled.
Look, normally I would say that getting blasted with things is somebody's personal business, but since there's like 3 party members on the undead. At the time, I think I'm gonna scoot over to.
Scoot over to what?
Me? You helping me out?
Got it. Oh my god, Mr. Staccato for a face. It's like a mecha, but made out of
Show me the
dwarf.
damage roll. The attack roll, I mean, sorry. The attack roll. You haven't even gotta hit it first.
It sounded clicked, but it didn't register with the thing.
Sometimes it's weird like that. You missed by 1. Well, I'll say
Yeah,
that
like-
it hits because it didn't know you were there.
Aw,
It's just like, oh, you're there. You can make another action if you want to attack again. Also, I forgot. Yes, you can totally share your space with Staccato. That's great.
I'm very open to being a perch, so whatever works.
You may fire again if you wish. Oh, go ahead. Let him have it. Ooh, that doesn't
Don't mean if I do.
hurt a lot, but it has these 2 arrows sticking out of its big blubbery body, and you can tell that it's very discouraged. As in, it's a wild animal. It might have been trained for combat, but its handlers aren't around or whatever. So it's like, I don't want to be here for that long. This hurts. These guys ain't easy. There might be more. One appeared out of nowhere. There might be another. Chiharu, you can shoot the zombie if you want to. Give him a blasting. Winnie's giving you some tips on how to cast your spells a little bit more better, more betterer.
Yes. Shoot more undead.
Even
I
with
keep
Winnie's
on rolling. It's 6.
the zombie is looking staggered, which is to say that half of its hit points have been exhausted, as it lumbers towards you.
And I'm going to raise my shield just in case.
Staccato the Slurk is well within reach. It's off the ground, but it's not like above the ground.
Okay. I'm going to give the Slurk a look that says, with real compassion, you know, how greatly it would grieve me if I were to have to reduce the number of its toes by 15%. God damn it.
Well, the Slurk ain't feeling too hot right now, and it's already been so. At this point, you can tell that it has had enough. It's gonna sleep on this for a while.
Excellent.
Also, it starts to smell the slightly rotting bodies of like, wait a minute, some of the Midflits have died. So if you ignore it and don't do anything to it, it's just gonna leave on its own accord.
I am all about that. Goodbye, Mr. Slurk.
It won't bother
Wish
you
the
anymore. It's
best
learned its lesson.
in your future business and travels. All right, I guess that's only one turn. So
One
I guess
action,
I'll come
yes.
back over here. One action here. I'll walk back over here and give a little blowgun to this fella. I guess I can't pull out the blowgun and walk and demoralize at the same turn.
Well, you can totally pull out your blowgun and fire it. Yes.
Okay.
Like it's one action to pull it out, one action to fire it.
All right, sweet.
I think it's one action reload at least.
Hey.
That's a critical hit, which with a blowgun is hilarious.
Yep.
You have the critical specialization, by the by.
I do not.
Not yet. You don't get that for a while.
Gosh.
4 damage.
The zombie has a little dart sticking out of one of its eyes, but being a zombie, who knows how much it actually bothers it. I mean, skeletons don't have eyes, and they can see just fine. This one lumbers up to you, Chiharu, and then its hand reaches out from the muddy waters. Or actually, a tentacle does. Slap.
Ow.
It can't use the grab, so don't worry about that. But it does bludgeon you with its tendril.
Gosh darn it.
Blub, 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 blub. Argus.
Yes.
There she is.
Jihar, do you need help?
No, I'm fine.
You're fine.
When he's making little like air fists at the zombie to discourage him.
Yes. That's the one. That's
The first one
two.
hits whoever you're going for.
Yes. The one right in front of me. Rather than the one that is attacking
Oh,
Chiharu at the moment.
oh. Well, the one
Although, hold on. Can I even reach it? Because if I can reach it, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to
you
step
can reach
back
him
and
just
then the
fine.
other
You can
one.
reach both of them at this point.
The one on the right, and I'm going to step back to waste as many other turns as possible.
The one that's in front of Chiharu in that case will no longer be.
Good. I'm going to pop back out. Actually, you know what? Let me put on the war face.
Inger. The last zombie that remains is unusual. Now that you got a good look at it up close, as Argus can verify, it's not just a zombie, it has these large, obviously fluid-filled pustules that cover its body.
I smell disease.
You smell zombie rot.
Ugh.
I do have a great cure to be administered, from range
Mm-hmm.
via force.
Yeah, you're going through those arrows at a rapid pace, but hey, dang, Skippy! Ooh, it's a good one.
For crits, it's worth it, and I can just like go and collect them at some point.
Probably. You have one action left. Would you like to use it?
I mean, I did scoot over from one side of the little bridge to the other. Does that count, or?
That counts as a movement, yes, but movement is one action, as is firing.
Okie doke.
The bow is reload 0, which means it takes no actions to reload it. You can fire. Show me that damage. Pew, pew. Ooh, nice high roll. It's not even staggered. It's a big lumpy boy. Shiharu, it's a big lumpy boy, and by the looks of it, it's like it's ready to burst and spit its pus all over the place just by getting hit.
Lumpy boys get positive and get positive reinforcement, aka say that.
Allow me to give you some life advice.
That's a good one.
He gets really good life advice. Honestly, his weakness is actually greater because one of the pustules heals, which means that the tissue sort of self-annihilates and just onto the ground.
Gross.
Verily, Mr. Staccato, I don't know how keen you are on being close to that thing. I say it's low.
I am extremely not. I'm extremely not. This is a very high quality suit. It's worth more than that zombie has made in its entire life. He gets to have another little blowgun to the face, I believe.
Hey, go ahead. Well, show me the goods. Ooh, you
21.
hit Boss Scrog pretty good, but I don't think he's involved in this. You still hit the zombie, though, don't worry.
Oh, sorry. What am I shooting at? Okay. Alright.
Don't forget, there is a button, a circle with an X in it, on your UI to the top left that lets you remove all select targets.
Alright, well, I'm going to give him another one. This is with multi-shot damage.
That hits him by
13.
1. Exactly, to be
Alrighty.
specific.
And
Ooh.
2 damage. I'm really making this happen, man. I'm carrying.
I gotta
this
get you a
guy.
better heater. Boss.
Inger, without your shield, you suddenly find yourself feeling a little naked when its large, just gross, muddy hand tries to bap you. And bap you it does.
Oh my gosh.
It's like a log fell on top of you. Ooh. Now, you have to roll me a fort save, DC 18, to avoid letting this icky goo get to you. On top of the damage it deals.
Please hold.
Take your time. What are all these infusions again? Whoops.
Dang it. Hero point time.
You feel something nauseous.
Yeah.
Slowly. It's not yet. I mean, diseases take a while to really take hold. But for now...
It's
Doesn't
not fun in
It's
any
not
in any
fun.
case.
Argus, you hear Winnie yell about how you should do something now. Come on.
Yeah. Let me pull up that little thingy that you bookmarked with the action list. And
What do you want to know or do?
Push it away, throw it away, move it away as much as possible.
It's a shove.
Yes, shove is
use a
athletics.
shove,
It's one action, so you can step in, shove, and then move away if you want to.
Yes, I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to step over here. I'm going to shove it with the athletics, see how that goes. There we go.
I mean, I don't know. Let's see. Sure. It gets shoved all the way back. Sploosh.
And I suppose instead of stepping back, I can switch back to the arrow stance.
I mean, you can't end your turn sharing a space with an ally like this.
You know what? Fair enough. I'll step back and I'll do it next turn.
Inger,
Yes, my friend.
you took a big hit there. That thing is scary up close, but it's away now, and maybe with a few good shots you can get rid of it.
I do believe I shall.
Which is to say, winning is just a formality here, because you have a guy who can exploit his weakness with Disrupt Undead. Oh goodness, you might actually finish it. Show us the goods. Show me the beans.
Was that a crit or?
Yes, that was a crit. That's why I want.
Payback time.
As it gets shoved back, you exploit a moment lapse of its defenses, and the dead have fallen silent yet again. For now. Dun 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 dun.
Bum bum bum. Would it reawaken them if I like?
Chiharu is trained in religion, I think, which means that they can tell you that, once an undead has been disrupted and they fall silent, they're usually just like that until someone fixes them. So, there are some undead that are like ultra restless that will come back again and again and again, but they're like pretty rare.
That stuff's like liches and all that.
Revenants, ghosts.
I could do a little harvest, right?
What do you want to harvest?
Like my arrows. If any,
Okay, cool.
yeah, if any of these are like close to the shore where I can get to them, then I would very much like to get my
You can
arrows
definitely
back.
get some of your arrows back, yes. In fact, I think that because zombies are so squishy, you could probably get all of them back that you spent.
I have absolutely no desire to touch my darts again.
I
Fair
think
enough.
most people would agree.
Do those arrows now. Do poison damage.
Argus, is your character token changing somehow? Because it was just different.
Yes. I actually, considering I have two pieces with the same character, I can switch on the fly between something more smug and something more angry, and I think it is amusing.
Ah, that's neat.
Yeah, that's something that he had. He happens to have two similar tokens like that, so I figured, hey, why not try to see if I can implement it.
Yeah. In one of the
Alright.
campaigns, the players had literally a six-sided die robot that was changing colors
That's pretty cool.
based on what it
That's
rolled,
awesome.
and then it attacked us with different colored beams, fire, water, etc. That's
All
where I
right,
got the
so
idea.
that was supremely entertaining. So we're happy to know that the large frog friend has decided that destiny lies elsewhere. But on the other side of this door are a number of these kids, those little guys that we killed.
I
Now
would like
they
to
are.
point out that we are approaching the time
Shit.
limit for the session, so
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna wiggle my
That is
eyebrows and say that how about we get to the part where you get some experience points for everything you've done?
Sure.
You've taught those
That would be
mitflits at the
nice.
door a lesson. You gain 60 points for that. You've got the slurk to leave you alone. You get 60 points for that. I think I'm relearning how experience works because apparently I was doing it very incorrectly. I'm a big idiot, you see. I was born under a bridge and I was raised in a barn. The sinkhole have done
Looking to
that.
make progress.
The Mudlicker throne room that was worth 120. Ooh. Anything else? I think that's about what you did. Oh no, the zombie fight that was also worth 80.
So what's the
what's-
total?
So that's 60 plus 60, 120 plus 120 is 240 plus 80 is 320.
Oh, wow.
So you're about a third of the way to the next level.
We're moving up in the world.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I got used to 5e where like your first level you get by like sneezing on somebody and walking out the door.
Yeah,
No, that's
first
how you
and second
start with
level.
Epidemic.
First and second level are meant to it's supposed to get out of there as fast as possible.
Yeah, but not so much in Pathfinder.
Nope, the first level you can already do stuff and not feel like you're a big idiot. Although it depends on how you design the encounters, because if you make everything too tough, you're gonna feel like a big idiot no matter what level you are.
Yeah.
I think the most amusing part about today's session is that somebody noticed that the lizard has emotions.
Nice.
Hilarious.
You're just like typing. What is that? Like weird little S symbols in the chat.
So-
There is in the chat. There is a little tab called language. You can choose your language, and the Foundry will automatically provide